All right. It looks like we are live. So, welcome everybody. I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to kind of hop in here just because, give you a little bit of a second because we are a little early. We're a couple minutes early. We're told by we're going to do 10 after the hour. It's 8 after the hour as we hit the button. So, no real harm there. Just letting everybody a chance to get in here and get things going. So, what we're going to do today, we'll set the scene a little bit. We're going to, like last time, if y'all saw the last stream, is even if you didn't, I'll explain it for you. But we're going to let y'all submit decks that I will play a couple of games of and give my input on or whatever, as opposed to just doing a deck check, deck doctoring thing. I think I may be alternating these throughout the month where I do one that's just a deck doctoring stream where we just go through a bunch of decks. I give some feedback on them and then have someone we actually play your decks and give the feedback, which is what we're doing today. However, if you want to do this at any given time, we do have a Discord that's free. Link is in the description. You can hop over to the Discord and you can post a deck list anytime. The community is always talking about decks and helping each other out. Or, which also helps the channel directly, is you can sign up as a member on YouTube. And I actually have a membership level that you can send an email. You fill out a thing and it goes right to me, and I give you private help with your decks and feedback and what I would think about them, change, whatever. And you can do that anytime if you're at that membership level. So a couple of ways you can get help even outside of the streams. But the streams are a nice place to come hang out, get help, see your deck in action, whatever. You kind of get to watch the process, if you will. Other things too, I have some merch, which is super nice now. So if you ever want to check that out, want to support your boy, you can do it. Matter of fact, I'm working on a new one right now. I just got the first iteration of it from the artist, and I'm really, really happy with this one. So I'm hoping when the time comes, y'all are into it. I'm hoping to have them up maybe in another week. Then y'all can check them out maybe 2 weeks. But I'm really, really digging that. I will tell you when and how you can post the decks. We're not doing that yet. What do we got here? It says, "Hi, PD. Really happy to see you and Dev collaborating lately. Hope you keep working with them on sub level. Have a great dynamic." We've talked about a few things. We keep joking about doing our wrestling podcast or wrestling YouTube channel. So that might still happen at some point. But yeah, we've already talked about doing some Magic content a couple of times over the next few months. Especially leading up to the release and rotation. We've got a few ideas. It's just a matter of having the right idea that we can both contribute to, as well as, oh, hey, thanks for a new follower there, as well as being a topic that y'all probably care about and that's timely, so you got to have the right thing to talk about first. Good evening to you too, Mikkel. How's it going? Or Michael. I don't know if that's a soft or a hard I. Long time no see. Sadly, can't stay long. Hey, nothing wrong. Hey, you came by just to say hi. I still appreciate it. Hey man, happy to shoot a list over. Is the Discord link here? It's in the description, but I'm not taking them yet. Anything that goes in before I say go doesn't count. Because here's the deal. We know everybody that submits a deck list, we will not get to them all. So I go through them fairly quickly, play a couple games, do the thing. And if you're in the queue, we'll do our best to get to them. But once we run out of time, we run out of time. You can skip the queue by making the equivalent of a $5 donation, whether that's on YouTube or Wow, super chat for $50. What? Bruh, man, thank you. Seriously, you didn't have to do that. But yeah, as an example, that's way more than $5. So that would still count. So Andrew, if you have a deck, you get to go first. You can skip the line to wherever we are in the queue. You will be next. Equivalent of $5, whether it's bits or whatever stars, whatever platform you're on. So that's just another way. Joe Fultz, hey to you too, friend. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Do subs count for the donation? They do not, but that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that for next time. I didn't have that figured into this one, but I'm gonna have to think about that. That's a good question. That's a good question. I'll have to think about it. Hey Wesley, how's it going? We are going to, as of now, you can go start posting your deck lists in the Discord. Put them in the standard channel. If you post them in the main channel, I won't see them. I probably ignore them. So make sure they go into the standard channel and you put them in there. And then we will start getting our list of people in there and going. Somebody posted at 4, so that does not count. So Barry, you need to get back in line. But yeah, go post over there now. If you want to be in there, there's the link that should show up for everybody wherever you're watching. And speaking of which, thank you wherever you're watching. We're multi-streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, on X. I still call it Twitter, and Facebook. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Andrew says, no decks here. Just noticed you were live and want to drop a super. Well, hey, I appreciate it just the same. Like, genuinely. Because here's the thing. There's a bunch of people making a bunch of gaming content. Hell, even in Magic, we probably have 100, 200 different people just making standard content on Arena. And you have a choice to watch any of these people, right? Especially when I'm putting stuff out every single day. And y'all are choosing to come by and watch my stuff. Like, that means something. You know, I know a lot of people, oh, I love my people or whatever, but I really do. Like, I understand the choices that you have. And it's cool that y'all even care to watch the junk I'm putting out there, you know? And honestly, the Discord folks, y'all are super, like, do y'all realize in the 4 years I've had the Discord open, making content every day for Magic, I've only had to boot 2 people out of the Discord. And one of them, I think, genuinely, not even exaggerating, was having some type of mental issue that was just causing stress for everybody. So, like, man, yeah, great community, man. I love y'all. Seriously. I don't have the issues a lot of other people have. Galahad the Law says, how you doing? Still the hardest working man in the biz. I put myself up there. Hey, Davey J, was that 72 months? Is that what that said? Oh my goodness, thank you. Good evening from Iceland. Man, it's always amazing to see where people are watching and consuming the content from, because I know I have a lot of people in like Canada, in Germany, I think South America, there's a few. But yeah, it's always cool when you see something like Iceland pop up. Christmas, how's it going? Christmas used to do a bunch of streaming. Y'all should follow that person as well. But yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Who do we have now? If y'all want to, oh, there's a couple of people that joined but did not post their deck list yet. So, all right, I'm gonna give y'all a couple more minutes. If you want to get in line and get your deck list looked at and have me play it, there is a link to the Discord. I'll post it again for anybody who needs it. Click that. Go to the standard section, the standard channel, and post it. Oh, Michael, thank you so much. I've used a lot of your deck builds, so thank you. Well, I thank you, seriously. Also, Michael, if you have a deck list, you will now be at the front of the line if you would like something while we wait on everybody else to fill up the free slots in the Discord. However, Guadara looks like they just posted and gave me a link to Moxfield. Great people that are supporters of the channel. So if you're going to post some deck lists, you might want to use them. Actually, to be honest, I do, even before they started supporting the channel, I used Aetherhub because I could just link my videos there. But I actually do like the layout of Moxfield for deck lists. I genuinely do. And they've been real good to work with, honestly. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Also, the one thing I will say is if you share something, please try to make it something that's new or different or original. Like, if you just post up like a standard mono black list that we've all seen, like, that's not going to be fun for anybody. Like, we've all seen it, you know? And I'm not going to have much feedback. I'm just going to look at it and go, like, all right, you have a mono black deck. All right, so what do we got here? We got Vadmir, Lightning Strikes, Magda. All right, so we're doing some targeted things. Ty Joaquin. Oh, this is interesting. I have a couple of questions. Wow, there is a lot happening. Hold on a second. The more I went down this list, the more questions I have. Wait a minute. Okay. We have Ty Joaquin, but we don't have a lot of things doing damage, right? We have Lightning Strike and we have Archangel. I don't think there's anything else doing damage, is there? Or non-combat damage. Because that just gets you cards. Florian gets you cards. Oh, technically, I guess Lightning Helix. But if we're going to do that, we should probably be maxing these out first off. I think is the thing. Oh man. Okay. Florian. Oof. I don't. Oh boy. All right. So I'm going to play this first before I make any judgments because I could be completely wrong about a couple of things. But I already feel like this deck needs some focus. I think that's what it's missing. Whatever here says, I actually don't have anything to post this time since you already tried out the dowsing device recently yourself. I did try dowsing device just yesterday, actually. Donna says, I also copy from your Moxfield all the time. Hey, that's always good. Hopefully people find stuff they want. And again, well, didn't mean to post a deck list in the chat. That was silly. Oh man, I probably just like blew up somebody's feed. That was not intended. Sometimes technology. All right, let me repost the link to the Discord. Generally, if you give me a link to wherever you're going, right now I've got H. Brendan next up. For those of you who need it, though, Discord link is also always in the description, even if I don't post it. I'm going to make a note here. I have H. Brendan next up. And Michael, if you have a list, you will skip the line as well. All right. So there we go. Let's go hop in. We'll play a couple of games with this, and we'll see how we feel about it. Because I'm curious. This is one of those ones where, like I said, I feel like it might just have too much going on. Like, we've got like Bruce Tarl trying to make tokens. Honestly, it's a token deck that's trying to do a targeted damage thing at the same time. And I think that's probably going to be the issue, I think. But all right, we will keep this because why not? We have all the mana that we need. And then we'll just decide on if we need to play these burn spells. We don't. All right, so let's go ahead and just run this dude out. And then we'll work on growing him. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, he gone. I swear like I face so many decks that are just like piles of removal these days. And what's funny is like that's a totally fine way to play Magic. I just feel bad for the people playing them because that's got to be boring. Especially in the play queue. Like, who's doing all that, you know? Ooh, dude, is there any way we can get the opponent to block our Florian? Because this is equal to the amount of damage we've done, right? Okay. Maybe? Nope. Ooh, Lightning Strike, Tywakeen. Tywakeen might be all right here. Or another Vad. I think we'll take another Vadmare, probably. Because if we cast Vad, whoa, Arena was going to use both of our red mana to do that? Oh, gosh. Why are you like that, Arena? Okay, well, at least that's better. Like, gee, bus. Like, Arena was about to do us dirty, y'all. I was like, what's that about? And we can just discard one of the Bruce Tarls here. So, oh, well, never mind. I got to get rid of a Deep Cavern Bat. Actually, do I need to get rid of Deep Cavern Bat? Yeah, I guess I might as well. Doesn't really hurt anything to do it. And then on our turn, we get rid of the Trespasser. Then we get to attack for more. We just won't be playing a Bruce Tarl this turn. That's not bad either, but this is probably just better. I mean, we're going to waste some cards not getting to select anything with their... Oh, that's not true. We can still play a 2-mana thing with Florian. All right, what do we got? Oh, we get to see a lot of things. A land is kind of nice, but I might as well just take a Magda. Because we don't really need the land. All right. Dun, 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 dun. This is where they sweep the board because almost everybody plays the new black sweeper at this point. Nope, just a duress. I got nothing, opponent. Just creatures. Nicholas all by his lonesome. Man, this deck really wanted us to cast a Bruce Tarl at some point, didn't it? All right. Well, sadly, can't play that. I think I'm just going to ignore Nicholas at this point. Yep, works for me. And then we're just looking for a land here off of Florian. And we will take it doesn't really matter, I guess. I mean, good news is we have access to all these cards. I mean, even if they sweep the board, we get to play a wedding announcement. So cool. Yeah, sure. I'll decline. Whatever. That's just kind of game, right? Because Bonehorde Drexor only gets to block one thing. All right. So I think I was correct in my assessment here. We won that game without actually even worried about Ty Joaquin. And even in a situation where I had the chance to get it and would have even gotten a card off of it, it would not have been the correct card to take. So that being said, I would cut the Magda, I would cut the Ty Joaquin, and I would focus more on other early stuff. Even if you just max out like Lightning Helix and Lightning Strike, those will be helpful. Maybe, I mean, you can go up to a fourth Vadmir, I guess, if you really want to. And then you can come up with some other targeted thing. I actually don't think we need the Angel as well. You're trying to finish games before you even get to doing some of this other stuff. And then that leaves 6 spots for maybe other types of token makers if you want to do the token thing. But yeah, I think you could just be way more focused than it is now. I don't even think, I mean, while Florian was cool and getting to see extra cards, there's probably a world where like, does Jasper doesn't work with Florian, doesn't work with Adam Pakal. Actually, Jasper doesn't work with anything, right? Because none of these are I mean, you get to take one card regardless, right? Because he's always going to count for one. Yeah, I just feel like this could just be a more focused, aggressive deck, right? This could be Adam Pakal's, Adeline's, the Flash 1/1 that makes another 1/1, you know, that type of thing. I think that's a much better situation. But yeah, this I think I would have to give an overhaul to. I think just as a token aggressive deck with some spot removal works great, but I think a lot of this other stuff is just slow and trying to do too much for what it really is. And then we have stuff like Jasper that doesn't really work with anything. I think that could just be a better card for what you're trying to do. Like it's an interesting thing because this is a situation where none of the individual cards are bad, right? We've seen all these cards in other deck lists and they all do stuff. So it's not like you chose bad cards. Well, arguably Bruce Tarl. I played it in the deck, but it is kind of bad by comparison. So that's like the one. But generally speaking, the deck as a whole has good cards in it. It's just I don't think that they all work together doing the thing they're trying to do. So I would just clean it up a bit. I think this is one where, as much as I want to give feedback, I would push it back to you as is and say, figure out the direction you want it to go. Because you can still play Mardu with targeted effects and whatever and do the Magda thing and Vadmir and that's all cool. Or you can go the other route and just play a bunch of tokens, fast aggro, whatever thing, and that's a different look. So figure out which way you want to go. And then if you want to drop that in the Discord after the stream or whatever, we can talk about what that possibly looks like. Right now, the queue looks like it's going to have... queue's probably going to be close to full at this point. Unless there's paid people who skip the queue. But we've got Hendon is... H. Brendan is next up. Then we have Casey Black. And Mr. Breakmind is in here. And Barry, Berry. And Night Sky. Looks like that is probably everybody we're going to get to, I would think. Like I said, unless somebody has the $5 dono and jumps in line in front of other people. But otherwise, that's probably all we're going to be able to handle for this particular stream. If you want to, and in the Discord, you can always hop in. If you've donoed, we will put you in and you will be next up no matter where we are in the queue. Yep, that's okay. We will move on to the next person, who is H. Brendan. Also, I prefer if you link it to something like a Moxfield or something, because what happens a lot is people will post lists in the Discord in text, and there's inevitably like an error or something, and then we can't load it, and there's a problem. However, this one worked, and that is a good thing. So let's take a look at it and see what we're working with. Hoping to get picked. There's no hoping to get picked thing. It's there's a free queue in the Discord in the standard channel that we just go down those, or $5 donos, skip the line and become the next person in line. It's not really a pick system. It's just first come, first serve kind of a thing. All right. So what do we got here? We've got some 3 steps ahead. Great train heist. So we're playing some spree cards, some plunderer duplicates. Wow. Okay, I see. So we're trying to do a combo Blade of Shared Souls thing. So whenever you attach a creature, for as long as this remains attached to it, you can have that creature bring a copy of another creature. Got it. Then we have C double, so you can also copy a token or a thing. And then we have Atsushi, and we have Doomscar. I am so confused. This is one where I'm like, I don't know what's happening. This is going to be a wild ride, because I'm like, okay, maybe we're doing something, but it's like, all right, we're trying to take an extra turn, maybe an extra attack step, or maybe we just need the treasure for something because we're also playing Plunderer. But then go Cowper. All right, we will have you next up. Actually, yeah. This is actually very, very interesting. Let's see. All right. I'm just going to run in with this one. I have some questions because I don't know like why there's the one at Sushi. I don't know what Doomscar Warrior's kind of doing here. There's some random 1s and 2s, but the 2 is kind of like a combo-y piece. What do we got here land-wise? We got 24 land. A lot of non-basics, but kind of have to with what we're trying to do. Yeah, this is tough because this usually needs like 2 blue. This might need 2 red. This obviously needs 2 white. This needs 2 green. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. This is going to be a ride. But this is why we do it. This is why we do it. Freeman super chatted. 21 say, oh, thank you so much. Here's your bribe, but not sure how to post Decklist. Just go to the Discord link. I will post it yet again. And you will. Oh, no, I didn't. Dang it. Every time I do that, it posts the deck list that I just had up. That's not what we're trying to do. Let me give you the link. Dun, 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 dun. I should have said that should just be hotkeyed, but it only shows up on Discord. They don't have hotkeys for other stuff yet. Or commands. But yeah, just post it in the standard channel in the Discord, and you will be behind Go Cowper. So you will be next in line. All right. I'm assuming we have to keep this hand because we did get all of our colors, but this was kind of my concern when I looked at the list. We don't really do anything right now, right? I guess we're doing this. I mean, because we can't even cast really Get Lost for a couple turns. We don't have anything to copy. Because this has to be a copy of everything we control, right? Yeah. All right, so now we have white mana. But we're still not... I mean, I guess we just cast Grid. I mean, all right, didn't get countered or killed, so that's cool. Not 100% sure what we're copying yet. We will eventually need the blue. And I guess we're just attacking. What is this thing? Visage Bandits. And there's a battlefield. Oh, you copy a thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess technically we could have got some treasure last turn. But I don't think that's the best thing for us to be doing with this card at this stage. All right, and opponents discard. Opponents got their own crazy spice going on. What is this? What? And they didn't even plot. Oh, they weren't able to plot this. Okay. Wow. All right. There's all kinds of stuff going on in this game right now. I am not going to use Great Train Heist because I have a feeling we're going to have to use 3 steps ahead here. Because something scary is about to happen. We're just playing the recruiter? I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm like, I don't even know if I care. I'm just like, yeah, you have a recruiter, I suppose. I don't I don't know. It just... that feels like a weird situation. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I guess you have a recruiter. Yeah, I guess we're attacking. This is gonna be weird if Gira just goes all the way here. Totally. I mean, like, it's weird that they played the recruiter there instead of like plotting one of these cards. Okay, so they're just playing all plot stuff and then trying to give stuff haste, I guess. All right, that's a strategy. All right, decided they're going to need to block Garrett here finally. And we're going to keep attacking. All right, end the turn. We're literally just attacking with the only creature I've drawn. Like, if anything else would have hit, we'd have been toast. Yeah, I guess we can't copy our dude, so that's no good. I guess we just... actually, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many do I need to counter? I need 3. To draw, I need 2. That's 5. I could actually let that hit, counter the next thing, then kill this. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, let's do that. So this will cost us 5 total mana. 2, 4, 5. Yeah. Make sure Arena doesn't wreck us, and we have some white mana still open. We do. This is pretty good against that deck. I'm just gonna get rid of that and probably this because we're not copying any. Oh, I only have to get rid of 1 card. Never mind. All right. Kill this guy. Hey, a plunderer at the 11th hour. All right, in the turn. Since we can keep them from casting something with this. And that should be more than lethal. Yeah. We'll go ahead and just... yep, that'll do it. Yeah, Brendan, I still don't know what this deck is trying to do. I think that's my problem. Honestly, we got a little lucky because the opponent didn't have a kill spell for our Garrett. But yeah, I feel like this is trying to do a lot of things, and I don't know what all of those things are. Right? Like, Garrett being able to copy tokens is cool, but the only real tokens we have are treasure, I think. But yeah, I'm not... Like, I'm trying to think, even what are we trying to copy with Blade of Shared Souls? Because that's maybe what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what are we trying to do with the blade here? Because, like, I mean, we could copy it sushi, obviously, and just get access to extra cards, extra treasure. Like, that's kind of cool, I guess. But even then, like, we don't have creatures to attach it to. I mean, we have Plunderer, but we kind of want to attack with those and reduce the opponent's life total, or just keep generating treasure. Calper says, so we copy a Doomscar with the blade and use Garrett to copy the copy. Blade of Shared Souls, though. Okay, so you're saying you want to use our one Molten duplication to copy something, probably Doomscar Warrior. But then, like, copying that with that doesn't do anything, though, because it doesn't come into play. It's already in play. So the only thing that we really get a benefit from copying is that sushi, because when it dies, we at least get stuff. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like, even because here's my thing. Like, let's say we had drawn a Scrap Gorger, or I mean, I guess the plan, I think the problem is it needs more of the key cards of what it's trying to do. I think if this is about Gira, duplication, Doomscar Warrior, like, and I get it, you might just be blocked by wild cards or whatever. But, like, I mean, like, I get it. Scrap Gorger can remove stuff from graveyard. It helps you cast your other spells. That's cool. But, like, Great Train Heist is a cool thing if you're already comboing, I would say. But if not, it's kind of just taking up a spot that really needs to be more like Molten Duplication. Like, create a token that's a copy of an untargeted. Like, yeah, I don't know if this is even a good spot for Saheeli. Because you need 2 different color mana, but you also want to have green or white available early. So, yeah, this isn't the card you're really wanting to play on turn 2, I don't think. Or even 3 or 4 for the most part, because you still have to have it live to be able to copy something. And the things you're copying, unless you've got more molten duplications to have copied something already, is probably just going to be treasure. I think I would like this better if there were more tokens of different varieties, or things like, what is it? The extruder? Is that what? Yeah, this thing that can turn treasure into tokens. So then now you have just like other things to copy and things you can do. Because right now, the way it's built, specifically, unless you get really Doomscar Warrior, you don't even have anything really worth copying, because it's not really worth copying the Interrupter. I mean, it's fine if you just need to get over with the flyer, but you really only have one thing worth copying. You only have one card that you can copy with right now. And Garrett really only makes treasure. You know, so I think you need other things that are worth copying and to get you to the big combo-y point or whatever. So, like, yeah, this is another one where I kind of, now that I'm looking at it, played with a little bit, like, I see the vision, but I think we got to still hone it in a little bit more. Like, I get you're wanting to have 3 steps ahead and Aven Interrupters, like, to buy you time as your defensive cards, but you also got to find room to have more of the things doing the thing you're trying to do. Without that, like, cards like Garrett just don't function well, because if all you're doing is just copying treasure, Maisie, at this point, the free queue is full. So unless somebody is making a $5 donation to skip the line, there's no more to submit, unfortunately. Go Cowper is up next, so I got to find your list in the pile of lists. I see it there. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So, Cowper, let's see what you got. Do, 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 do. I'm always looking for other cool Geared lists, though. So, if you can hone that in, and you can always hop in the Discord to get deck help or whatever. And again, if y'all want to support the channel, I do have a membership level on YouTube that you can send stuff directly to me and get specific help privately, all that. So that's part of that as well. What do we get to get you to try our decks we've made? At this point, it has to be a minimum $5 dono because the free part is already full. All right, so this is just mono red. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, this is just one of the like pile of varieties of mono red. I mean, it's 1 mana red with slick shot show off, but this is what those decks are now. I mean, I'll play a game with it. I mean, I'm a little confused, but like it's mono red. Like, I mean, don't all mono red decks play 15 to 18 land at this point? Or a bunch of them anyway? Oh, gotta wait to find somebody. I'm gonna be that person playing the mono red in the play queue. All right. Well, this is what it is. Hey, and they're playing mono red also. And I do not have a burn spell, so I guess I lose this fight, huh? Yeah, I don't even know. This is what happens though sometimes when you keep these types of hands. Like, we got to draw more land, and I should have mulliganed to at least 2 land. Been impressed sometimes at how you play versus control with the creature deck. You know what? I've played way too many games against control decks. That's probably where that comes from. But I've also been playing Magic since damn near the beginning. All right. I'm just going to give the opponent the GGs. We're obviously not coming back with this. We don't even have a play with fire. We just drew one, but we can only kill 1 creature now. It's like, yep. I forgot if you mentioned it, but do you do these kinds of streams once a month or spontaneously? They're not really on a schedule, but I've been doing once a month. But I'm going to be alternating between doing just like deck doctor streams and actually playing your decks on stream. Hey, Ice Prophet, how's it going? And if you just want to share deck lists or get deck help, you can always put those in the Discord. It's just right now the queue for the stream is already full unless they're paid. Next paid up is Freeman, and then the next free one right now will be Casey Black when we get to it. All right, looks like we got an opponent. Well, let's try this. 1 land again. Not a surprise because we're playing 15 land. I guess I just have to keep it. I feel like I'm supposed to mulligan to 2 lands, but like we're playing 1 land red, so why not? Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like even if this works, I mean, it's still just another version of mono. Not to be insulting. Like if it's winning for you, it's winning for you. Like that's totally fine. Totally play it and go for it. But from a play experience, it's still mono red, you know? Why do I not have a burn spell here? That is disappointing. I think what I want is let's play one of these. And then we'll just attack with all of it. I figured they weren't going to block. All right. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hey, decks aren't necessarily garbage. Sometimes they just need focus. Because here's the thing, right? Is for when y'all see the decks I post, like you're also not seeing all of the like 12 other things I tried that didn't work. You know what I mean? And that's fairly regular. Let's attack and see if the opponent's inclined to block or not. All right. They weren't. I have treasure. We can almost do it next turn if they have a ground blocker. I mean, I guess I could have just shot them for 2, all things considered, because if they weren't blocking, we didn't really have a risk of dying here. Oh, so they're playing like some legend stuff. That's interesting. Well, how do we want to do this? Let's go here first. Oh, that'll do. This guy has haste, right? All right, cool. Then I guess we just attack him. Whatever gets through, we pump up. All right. I mean, we didn't really do anything. Opponent didn't really do anything. That was just it was typical game. All right. Decklist, yeah, it was fine. It's what you expect. I mean, no real notes. It's mono red. I mean, cute that it's trying to push the mana as low as possible, making use of like sticky fingers and demonic ruckus show off. Um, if anything, I might cut like scapegoats to have 2 more shocks, probably. But that's probably the only thing I changed. The rest is fine. Like what you expect to see. Like I said, no major notes there. We got Freeman Stephenson next up. So we'll take a look at that deck list. As always, appreciate the participation. Do 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 do. This is a black-white deck that's doing Novus Inspector, Greedy Freebooter. We got Vampire's Kiss. Oh, we got some Yargles in here. Oh, yeah. Well, we played a version of this. Like, was it late last season or very beginning of this season? Yeah, I mean, I'll play this. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, we've actually played a similar deck already. Let me see if I can find the video on it. Like, we definitely have a video with this deck list in it. Let me see. I bet you. Nope, it's not that one. Dang it. What is it? Seeing if I can find it real quick in my old stuff. But maybe not. But yeah, it's definitely something we played recently because I remember seeing it. Oh yeah, this is it. This is it right here. This is from 2 months ago. Yeah, I will post a list for other people to see. But yeah, there you go. I mean, I still take it for a run. It's a cool deck. I don't have a problem with it. It is interesting nonetheless for people who haven't seen it. Maybe you're new to the channel. But yeah, you can toss some big monsters in your graveyard and then get them into play cheaply, which is super nice. We will keep this. And so we have a Novus Inspector. We probably want to just play this first, or either of these, I guess, so we can just get the Yargle into the graveyard. So I'm going to go here. Well, we did want more land, so that's nice. Oh, the opponent, I expected them to play a creature there, and they didn't. You're going to kill mine? Maybe. Nope. All right. This guy make it through. Oh, man, they hit that augury with the instant speed of all instant speeds. Biddy Jr. is a new member. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Yeah, I guess we're not doing much else. I mean, I guess we could draw 2. Yeah, because they're not doing anything that's going to threaten us next turn. Why does it? Because I'm losing life. It's making me choose. That's funny. All right. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was the other card. This is gain 2, lose 2, gain 2. That's why. I was thinking the other thing that was like lose 2, draw 2. Not that it changes much. I mean, we're still going to do our thing. That's one of the things we're looking for, though. That can stay on top. All right. Let's go. Oh, opponent's about to get squirrely. No, friend. No, we are not going to allow that. I'm just going to pay 3 life here because who cares? All right. All right. Well, we didn't get to see the cool part of what the deck does, which is go get the Kaya and then get rid of a token so we can get the big thing out of a graveyard. The pronunciation, Novus pronunciation, is interesting. Is that how you've always said that word? Actually, we had this come up in a comment already. Not to say that your comment's bad, but I'm referencing this because somebody had mentioned this before, and I actually went and looked it up. And there's actually like 4 different schools of thought on how you pronounce Novus. So yeah, all of them are correct as far as I could tell. Whether you're talking about Cambridge or Oxford or dictionary.com or Merriam-Webster are the 4 that I looked up. But there's a harder I, there's Novus, Novice, and there's one that says it kind of quickly. I don't remember which is which. But yeah, I don't know, I guess I've always said it that way, as far as I know. But yeah, let's try one more and see if we can get the deck to do the thing for everybody. Because why not? Next up is Casey Black, by the way. So Casey, if you're around, sit tight. Key Lime Pie, that's a fun username. Ain't mad at that. Ooh, what are we doing here? Yeah, I guess we're keeping it. We can't really throw this back. I mean, we could, but why? That doesn't change anything really. I was thinking for a second, I might want to go ahead and play the Inspector first, but it really doesn't change anything. I'd rather have the option to kill a problematic card. Well, we're not going to get to kill it anyway, so none of that mattered. Sometimes you have the best intentions, and then a Deep Cavern Bat shows up. Oh, but they left us our bitter triumph, huh? Huh. All right, I'm going to pass. Let's see what you got. I mean, because if they just have another bat, then like we kill a bat and they end up with Liliana again. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really matter. We just kill the bat and they take Liliana. In this matchup, maybe I want this instead in the graveyard. All right. So they spent their turns playing bats, but then not really doing anything else. So that's fine. I'll say, obviously, you're taking that. Okay. Now we just got to find the other fun pieces. Really enjoyed your destruction of my comment on YouTube too. That was a great episode. Oh, yeah. I don't know who the people are. Like, we just kind of look and go, all right, that looks like a fun one to talk about. It's interesting though, right? Because there's a lot of different perspectives, and some of it's just from, oh, I got another vampire's kiss, is just from often, life experience, what you know, what you don't know, you know. Let's get rid of this. All right, we found a Kaya. Now we got to find land. So I think I'm just going to do this. Crack this other one. Hoping we find a land that's... Ah, dang it. All right, well, that didn't work out. I was hoping I'd find a land, so even if one was tapped, we could just have it ready to go for Kaya next turn. Hmm. All right, well, we lose. I mean, I guess it's kind of, yeah, we just get rid of this, I guess. Oh, the commander cards in standard. Yeah. The thing is, and I think ultimately what that comment broke down to for us in the end was that we kind of have cards for every format all the time. And if standard is doing exceptionally well right now, then uh, why should we worry? It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. All right, so now we can exile a creature I control, and then for each other player, they exile up to one. But her main ability is whenever one or more creatures you control and/or creature cards in your graveyard are put into exile, you can choose a creature card from among them, and then until end of turn, that token you control is a copy of it. Let's probably just get rid of Lord Skitter. I think is what we're going to do here. I mean, nah, we just exile, right? Because we can just turn a copy at this point. One or more token controllers. Yeah, let's just copy. Like, they don't have much going on. These can both go. We don't care about those. Go to our graveyard. Let's get this. And then let's turn this into one of these. And then we'll just attack the opponents. We're going to ignore everything else. Like, it's a flying 18. Like, I don't think you have anything for 1 green that's going to help here. Yeah, since they tap the bat, like, that's just, unless they have something good for 1 green, that's it. Yep, that's it. That's what the deck's supposed to do. I had no concept you're worried about the future. I enjoy standard quiet. Commander already has their own product. Yeah, but here's the thing, and I've asked people before, what would a product look like for you that has no cards that are playable in Commander? Right? Is that even a thing we can make? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's possible. And even now, there's cards like we started, like Girid, right? That people say is like, oh, well, this is obviously meant to be a commander. But you can also do some sweet stuff in standard with it. So should that card not exist in a standard set just because it's also eligible to be a commander that you can play with? Right? I think that's the thing. Like, a lot of times I feel like when I see that statement, I'm kind of wondering, like, okay, but what are we solving? What are we concerned about? Right? That's a lot of the back and forth of just, what is the issue that we're worried about, you know? Just print busted stuff and wait for it to be banned. I don't think we like that option either. Like, don't get me wrong. I think you have to push the line a little bit every once in a while to figure out what you can and can't do and what's too strong and whatever. But you don't want a bunch of things doing it at the same time, right? We've had periods in time where that's happened. Most recently with the first Eldraine set, right? There was like 5 or 6 things that were just bananas, and we had to ban a bunch of stuff, and then people were unhappy. And it's like, yep, you can't do it all at once because that's too much, right? But if like one thing, like we had, what was it? Meat Hook Massacre, right? That card obviously was too good. Hell, it was good for a lot of formats, not even just standard. Card's kind of bananas. But we went, okay, that's one card. We can push that away, no problem. And eventually we dealt with the Red Saga or whatever, right? Like that was the other one. But you're talking 2 cards over a stretch, like that's fine. You push the limit. Those cards are obviously too good. They got banned. We're okay with that. But if it was even 1 card every set, that's people are going to start feeling bad, right? Because some people invested in those cards in pre-orders, or they were excited to open them in a pack, and now the card's not worth much, or whatever the case is, right? You want to limit those feel bads. Sometimes it just has to happen, right? A card's too good, it's dominating a format, it's making the games unfun, or a bunch of mirror matches, so you got to do it. But you don't want to have to do it every single time. You're excited. You're going for a tourist trip to Georgia and Armenia on Monday. That's probably cool. I'm wanting to do. I have my passport, so I'm wanting to do more international travel. But I probably won't get to do some until next year. That's probably when I'll be hitting y'all up, taking suggestions. Where should I go? All right, Casey Black, you are next up. If you were, I think I saw you comment a second ago that you're still here. So let me scroll back to Casey's list and let's see what we got here. Boom, boom, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. It's always cool because I don't know what y'all are going to bring. There's always something new. It was cool, though. I might actually play that Orzhov list on a video again because I haven't. Oh, I reached my limit of 100 decks. I got to delete some things. Hold, please. Because I haven't played that deck in a minute. And it'd be cool to run it back for an update, maybe do a couple things to it. I don't think there's much to add, though. I think it's mostly going to stay the same, if I were guessing. This tells you just like how many decks I have. Like I'm constantly just building decks. By the way, if anybody has fully Infamous, unless you're making a $5 dono, the free queue is already full. So we're not taking any more in the free queue. Otherwise, you can go in the Discord, post up, and make a $5 dono and skip the line, and you'll be next. Slime Against Humanity, y'all. I tried. Man, I don't even want to admit how many hours I put into trying to figure that out. I probably played from the time that card was released to today. I bet I've wasted 2 full days worth of hours, at least 48 hours, trying to make that card work. It's not good, man. It's real bad. It's really, really bad. Like, it doesn't beat any. It beats bad draws. That's the only thing it beats. It doesn't beat anything else. It's very disappointing. Like, I wanted it to be so much better than it was, and it's just really, really bad. Which sucks, because I want it to be better, but it's just not. And what's sad is I had multiple people ask, like, hey, are you going to ever do a Slime Against Humanity deck? And I've literally just told them, like, don't waste your time. Like, I've tried every which way I could think of. I tried doing really aggro-y. I tried doing control piles. I've tried doing it with Arcane Bombardment so I could get free ones. I've tried ramping so I could do multiples in a turn. I've tried doing a thing where I could give them haste so I could make a couple of big ones in attack with a bunch of them in my graveyard. I've tried like all of it. It sucks. Bonnie Paul Terror of the Peaks into Smuggler Surprise. Opponent never came back from that. Yeah, I'd expect that would do that. That sounds about right. There's a lot of combinations of things with Smuggler Surprise and, you know, either Tyrant or Calamity or whatever that just create some crazy, crazy situations. All right, let's see what we got here. We got some Skullduggery, which is a +1/+1 or -1/-1. Undying Malice. I see a lot of twos, which is already a concern for me. Bitty Bitty is making a dono here, so you're going to be the next one up. Let me give you the link to the Discord again. Actually, link is in the description if you ever just need to grab the link to the Discord, which, by the way, y'all can all come in the Discord at any time. Everybody's super friendly there, and we're always doing deck help type stuff. But hop into the standard channel, post your deck list, and you will be next up because we don't have anybody else in the paid section. All right, so like I was saying, when I see a lot of twos, I automatically get concerned unless a lot of those twos happen to be like legendary or more expensive casting cards. Because the question starts to become, do we need these other things? Or could we have more of the better things? So we've got Undying Malice. As y'all know, I am not a fan of these particular types of cards. Unless they are part of something where we did recently, right? With the artifacts that like you can play them for the lower cost, they come back as a higher cost, right? Or if you have something that comes into play and does like a cool thing or whatever. Otherwise, like they just usually end up not being great. But anyway, you have them, so I'm going to play them. Quick draw. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains first strike as an instance. Creatures target opponent controls lose first strike and double strike. I don't know if we need this card. I'm also noticing something else. We don't have any actual removal cards in this list. I would much rather not have Undying Malice and Quick Draw to play more removal of some kind. Reckless Lackey. Yes, you are a pirate, which counts for some things, but I feel like there's other guys we could play too. Even in black, like the skeleton, that's like a 2/2 that comes back when you target things. That could be better. There's got to be other things. Yeah. Raven of the Omen Fells. When you commit a crime, each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. This ability triggers once each turn. Not a fan. These like 1-point drain life effects usually don't work out. People have even tried showing me lists that play like the curse, and you know, like unless your whole deck is about that, like draining the opponent, because then like every point matters for real at that point. But when it's just like one or two things that are doing it, it's usually not that great. I get that we're on a budget, but there's still things we could play. Like again, your go for the throats, cut down, lightning strikes, play with fire. Like those are commons and uncommons, right? The skeleton I'm talking about, I think, is uncommon. Who do we have? Freeman. Oh, hey, hey, thank you so much. Yeah, this Forsaken Miner. Like, if we're going to be committing crimes and you want a rogue that still counts to trigger your other stuff, like this works. Still counts, right? And that's an uncommon, and that's probably better than the lackey because we don't really have anything that pumps the lackey. So you're just going to have a 1/2 that occasionally blocks and draws a card, but this at least can try to attack for bigger and possibly keep coming back whenever stuff happens. Can't block, but that's fine. You're not blocking much with the lackey anyway. Same thing here on the Ravens. You could just as well play the Deep Cavern Bat, right? That's just going to be better. You keep a card from opponent's hand, you get to gain some life in between, right? That's also an uncommon, just better than the Raven more often than not. Servant of the Stinger. It does have Death Touch at least. When it deals damage to player, if you've committed a crime this turn, you can sacrifice it. If you do, search your library. This is fine. Like, again, on a budget, I can accept that one. This is one I'm torn on. Because if we're going heavy on crime, which is still a weird sentence, but if we're playing a lot of crime stuff, this at least we can make an argument for, right? Instant speed, deal a damage to the opponent, trigger your stuff. Not sure if we have stuff that really cares that we're criming. Whenever player casts a non-creature spell, this deals damage equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. Yeah, this card's just bad. Like, over the course of the game, we're maybe dealing like at best 3 damage with this, I would think. Because most of the time people aren't playing multiple non-creature spells on unless it's mono red, but they're trying to just kill you, right? So you've either beat them or you haven't. 4 toughness is kind of nice, but generally this isn't going to be worth its weight, right? You're not going to be able to attack with it hardly ever. And then against most decks, they're not casting more than 1 non-creature spell in a turn, so you're almost rarely ever going to get real damage off of it. So I'd be looking to replace that too. Vial Smasher, totally fine. You know, gets deal damage whenever you have other outlaws come into play. Rakish Crew makes sense. You have stuff die. You know, that's all fine. Outlaw's Fury. Creatures you control get +2/+0. If you control an outlaw, exile top card of your library. Yeah, for 3 mana, I'm not feeling it. At knife point, I at least get this makes sense. Make a dude. Your stuff gets first strike. Yeah, I think for the most part, those are the cards I'm concerned about. Like Outlaw's Fury could be something else. The lizard, you know, the stuff I pointed out. But yeah, we'll hop in and play it for sure. But yeah, even on a budget, there are definitely better options that could still get you where you want to go, I think. If we can find an opponent. Freeman says, I requested an MTG Malone. Oh, you went back in the queue. All right. I guess I didn't have a rule for that, so we will allow you to be back in the queue. So Billy, then Freeman. However, in the future, we'll try to do 1 per stream so we get more people in. All right. We will go first with this. I feel like our plan, since we have them, probably needs to be just get the Raven down so we can get as many drain triggers as possible to make it worth it. And then probably Servant plus Jagged Barons next turn. But let's... actually, I say that. Now we drew this guy. Huh. All right. Well, I think this is what we're doing then. I mean, might as well make use of it if we drew it. What? Somebody bringing the blue... Oh, gosh. All right. Well, this is going to be a quick one, I imagine. Either they get to wipe our creatures and just kill us with toxic things, or we just nickel and dime them on the way there. Yep, you have a rat. Hey, we can kill a rat. No, we can't, because that's the 2/2 rat. Gosh dang it. That's not going to work. I guess we get to give... This is a random spot where this card's actually going to work, so sure. Let's attack. All right. What am I targeting twice? Target creatures +1/+1 and first strike. Target creatures target opponent controls lose first strike. Oh, so I have to also target the opponent. That's a weird card, but makes sense. I mean, even though my creature already had first strike. I guess the other part of that is, too, I could have just given it -1/-1, and it wouldn't have really done anything. Because I don't have another great spot to use this. Do I want to go search for something else? Probably. I'm like, what else am I going to cast here? Everything else costs 3, though, right? I get another Raven. I could ping them with this thing. I guess... Oh, I can't cast that because I need a red and a black. I only have black available. That's unfortunate. I guess I'm going to get this guy, but assume I'm not really going to get to cast it because they generally are playing counter spells. Though, that being said, this will draw a counter, and then maybe I could play Ashiok. That wouldn't suck. No, Jasper is the better card. It's more about getting stuff under the counters that we know inevitably are coming. Like that's what I was concerned about. Because I'm pretty sure that's what's left open here. However, now this is a get countered, and then we have to hope Ashiok makes it. Oh, they didn't have it though. Sometimes you get lucky. Oh, we can't even play this without the opponent having a creature. Yeah, this is even worse because you have to have 2 targets to even play it. Yeah, not great. All right, you have another rat. And what do we get from the opponent? Nothing. It looked like it was just a land. Disappointing. All right, I guess we're just attacking then. Sacrifice creature, sure. I mean, why not? I mean, we'll just take our poison, go to 7, and see if they just have the cards to kill us in hand. Oh, we go to 6, actually, not 7. So they have to work a bit to kill us. But this is a good example, right? Is if that Raven had been something else, or that other dude had been something else, we'd have done at least 6 more damage during the course of this game. And that would be the difference in the whole thing. Well, that's not going to allow us to kill the opponent, is it? 4, 5, 6. I can exile some stuff. So those will get pumped up. We get a lackey. Look at 2 of them, exile 1, put the other in hand. So let's exile this. We can play this. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this can't target. Do we have anything else that could get us 2 points? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we either need to sack this to find a thing that gets us 2 points. That's sad, but that might be all we can do here. Because I'm pretty sure we can't play this because we need a target from the opponent. There's no more submissions if you want to be in the free queue, Travis. You have to, well, yeah, now we're just dead. All right. Yep. GG's. I mean, there's no way they don't have it in 4 cards, so I'm not even going to make them go through the motions. But yeah, this is a good example, right? Just having the worst creatures, we just don't get that damage in that you need to get, right? And again, had we done even 1 more point of damage during the course of that game, that would have been the difference. So yeah, those are some of the changes I would make for sure. And again, if you had actual damage spells, if you have other things that remove stuff outright, as opposed to stuff like the Skullduggery or whatever it was, then you're actually able to get that attack in. Because again, if I was able to outright remove a creature, now I get that 4 damage in from that last attack instead of them blocking, right? And that changes the end of the game too. So lots of little things for sure there. I had 8 toxic and he had 4 cards in hand and 7 mana. Like, I'm fine scooping. Like, there's a good chance he has it. And even if not, I'm not going to sit through it to win just because, like, my opponent drew terribly and didn't do anything. Like, that's fine. We saw the deck do what it was trying to do. We saw their deck do what it was trying to do. There's nothing else to learn there. You know what I mean? like whether the opponent has the cards in hand or not, there's nothing else to be gained from that experience. Like, I'm not playing for the wins or whatever at this point. Like, we let them draw some cards, proliferate twice, we die. If they don't, we just attack and win. You know? Like, that's when we already know the outcome. It's kind of the same things when I'm playing my videos. Like, there's sometimes, well, Like people like, oh, you could have played this out and won. I'm like, yeah, sure. But there's also some of those situations that if I were to win, it would take another like 12 minutes in some of those scenarios, right? At that point, because I'm making content, I know I'm not going to use that footage for the video because I'm not going to have two games in the same video that are 20 minutes because I'm only making a 45-minute video, right? So at that point, I'm like, you know what? Opponent can have this one. I'm moving to the next one just to save time, you know? Because and I get it. Some people are like, yeah, but I want to see you play it out. I'm like, but I already played another game that was already really long that I know is going to be in the video, win or lose. So there's no point in playing the other one. So some of it's just a strategic decision. But also, from a creative standpoint, if we got to see our deck do the thing, we got to see the opponent's deck do the thing, it still kind of met the brief for what we're trying to do in that particular game, right? At the end of the day, real talk for a second, like just taking a break from what we're doing. Wins and losses don't really matter that much in the content that you're consuming. Now, a lot of people will look at that and say, oh, I want to play this because, or I don't want to play this because. But in either scenario, you're only looking at a 5 to 11 game sample size, right? So, and I've told people before, I've had decks that went undefeated, and I'm like, realistically, this is probably a 55-60% deck. And they're like, what do you mean you went undefeated? I'm like, yeah, but it's not the fact that I won, it's how I won or how I lost that you should be watching, right? A couple times it's just like, oh, my opponents made mistakes, or I got a bunch of good matchups, or I had 2 or 3 really lucky top decks. That's not going to happen in the next 10 games I play, right? Some number of those are probably losses. Conversely, like in today's video, I won a game against Mono Red with only 2 mana and couldn't cast my hand for the majority of the game. Probably will never happen. But somebody's going to look at that video and they're going to count that as a win. And they're going to go, oh, well, this deck was whatever it was in that video, 5 and 3 or whatever. And they're going to be like, oh, this is really good. When I even told you at the end of the video, like, I wouldn't play this over other Naya builds. Like, it's fun if you just have the cards and you want to build it, you want to try it. It's a way you can use breakout till some other stuff comes out. But yeah, right. But a lot of people don't look at that. They look at like, oh, this is an 80% deck. I need to play this or whatever. Not realizing that a lot of people, you're not going to play the same way that the creator played, right? You're not going to get the same matchups. You're not going to get the same skill opponents. Like there's a bunch of variables. So I don't know. Anyway, that's just a rant. I think people put way too much into wins and losses. Also, the reality is I have both wins and losses that don't even make my videos because the games are boring, right? Where like I win, but I play like a 5-turn game where the opponent just didn't do anything. And I'm like attacking with 1 or 2 creatures. And I'm like, well, that's terrible, right? So I'm not going to include that, even though it's a win. I also have losses where it's like, well, I only cast 1 spell a turn because I got stuck on mana or something. And it's like, okay, well, that's also bad for content. So like, right? So that's not good. That's why I always try to do a wrap up and tell you how I feel about the deck, what I feel like you beat or don't beat, why I'm making the changes. A lot of people won't even get to that part of the video because they look at a deck list, they watch a game or 2, and then they go on about their business, right? That's how they consume Magic content. Not realizing they're missing a whole context of why the video was made. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, like I said, people worrying about folks conceding early or not, it doesn't really matter. I even see comments on other people's videos about it. Like, well, you didn't have to concede that first game. It's like, all right, that's fine. Opponent got to win. It's not going to harm anything. It's okay. The same way people are like, well, you could have done this instead of this. I'm like, you still won the game. Who cares? It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Again, just take that in and be like, okay, if you think I made a mistake, which I do make mistakes when I'm playing, then chalk that up as a win for the deck or whatever. Or if I made mistakes and still won, well, maybe that's a better matchup than you're giving it credit for because I can bubble around and still get the win, right? So there's a lot more context to everything that I think people ignore when they're watching content other than just, did this deck win or lose? I think that's weirdly, like it's I'm going to use poker as an example. There are a lot of people that are good at poker that understand it's a math game on some level, right? If you have a situation come up 100 times, there is a mathematical number of times that you should make certain decisions, right? And you can make that 90% correct decision, and that 10% comes up on that last card. There are people that will look at that and say, well, obviously you chose poorly. And it's like, well, no, the opponent only had a 10% chance. Of course, I'm supposed to make that call every time. And if they just get it, they get it. Right. But those are the same people that go like, but you could have done this, or this should have been a win. It's like, okay, sure, maybe. But at the end of the day, decision's still made. It's fine. Right. Like, you make a decision, it doesn't work out sometimes. That's okay. I don't think it makes it necessarily, as long as you have logic to it, that makes sense at that point in time. Well, if the opponent just draws the right card and beats you, cool. And I've even said that in videos. Like, you know, if the opponent has this or this, we probably lose, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and we'll just see what happens. Sometimes they draw it, sometimes they don't. That's just a gamble I'm willing to take. But to see people flip out about it, like, I can't believe, but it's like, guys, it's literally one loss on the ladder. You know what that means? Literally nothing at the end of the day, you know? And I get what you're saying, like, saves time, but for that moment, they only had lands there. But yes, my point is still, even if they only have lands, what's the end result that's any better or different? All right, so we won. All right, so we lost. Neither of those is going to be an exciting finish. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally, they have the cards. Great, we got 2 poison, we're dead. Or they have nothing and they probably just concede. So I'll just save the time and we can move to doing the next thing. YOUR, though that's generally spelled HOLA, unless that's another language I don't know about. Been a while, but glad to catch stream. Work just finished. Busy season, so wasn't on much. Hey, good to have you back. I do sometimes let the opponent play out their super win when I could have scooped, makes them happy. Now, I will say that there are times I do that where I just want to see their deck, right? I'm already losing, but I'm like, their deck's obviously setting up to do something crazy. Let's see the crazy thing, right? So sometimes that's pretty cool, right? Just saying the deck's different. Let's see the cool different thing. But anyway, let's get to Billy. Billy was in the paid queue. Let's see what you got here. I got to scroll down to here. All right. This, I don't even know what this is going to be at all. So let's see what we got. It is a, nope, we just did that one. What is it? Oh, there must be have something I don't have. Nope, did it not load? Oh, see, this is why. This is why I tell people, go, Billy, I'm going to need you to go post it into Moxfield or something or whatever. Because this is what happens when people don't post actual links and just post a deck list. Inevitably, there's some error in the list or something. Let me see if I can fix it and find it. This is why, though, I tell people, like, post it on some hosting site, then export and post the list, or the link, because they don't format right sometimes. All right, I think I got it. Let's see. Okay, looks like I got it. But yeah, please, in the future, just post the link to wherever you have the list. It's a lot easier. It makes life simpler. All right, we got it. So we've got Elspeth's Might, Ashnod's Intervention. I don't think I've ever even played. This is another one when a creature dies, comes in. Yeah, all right. Ichor Drinker, Go for the Throat, Vadmir. Random one of Vadmir. Okay, Vampire's Kiss. Saw that card earlier. We have some kind of vampire action. Okay, so we're trying to do vampires, I take it. I have lots and lots and lots of thoughts already. Okay, first thing, we really don't need all of this earlier, what I'm going to call nonsense of just like having these defensive cards that we're trying to sit and protect things. Or we're an aggressive deck. We don't need it. We need to be removing stuff out of the way, playing stuff that pumps our team, like other things, right? This isn't helping us win games, right? Occasionally it's going to save a body or two, but I don't know. Also, I don't know how hamstrung you are on wild cards, but this obviously you want like more bloodcasters, you want more sanguine evangelists. Another Edgar would probably be good. Not a big fan of the Markov Purifier because we don't really have a lot of ways to gain life. Right? I mean, Vadmir if it gets up to a bunch of counters. I guess Vran if stuff's dying, but we're only playing one Vran, so that's not very likely. And yeah, if you had it, I would cut this for more wedding announcements. Same thing with the Ruthless Lawbringer. Like, we don't have enough things we want to sacrifice, so I would just turn this into another wedding announcement and like Ashnod interventions into just more removal of some kind would probably be fine. I would cut the Vadmir because we're almost never going to get this big enough. I don't think the deck's really built for that. And then, of course, more Bloodvat caster. Maybe one more Vran, max out our Sanguine Evangelists. I wouldn't even play Drana and Linvala. Drana and Linvala, unfortunately, and I tried this in a few lists. I even tried it in some Angel lists. But one of the things you'll notice is it gets activated abilities, and there's not that many creatures with activated abilities these days. Right? Most of the stuff people are playing, like if you look at Mono Red, nothing is activated. Right? It's just bodies that you're putting stuff on. If you're playing against the Boros Convoke decks, right? They come into play and do stuff with triggered abilities, no activated abilities. Mono Green, technically you can have a mana ability where you tap something to make mana. I think that's the only thing they really play. Golgari has none that I can think of. Yeah, most decks just don't have any. You know, I would just not even play Drana and Linvala. Like, it's fine that it has vigilance or whatever, and it's a vampire, but other than just like meeting the brief of being a vampire, meh. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's touchdown mana dorks, but it's just like, okay. You know, like you play your thing on turn 4 that turns off their mana dork that they've already used for 2 turns. So just like, that's definitely not worth it. I mean, now if it was activated abilities of things, so then like they couldn't use artifacts and stuff, then this would be sweet. But for just creatures, nah, not really. Just doesn't do enough. There's probably a world where there's 1 or 2 things that come up, but yeah. And I don't mind Elspeth, but realistically, I think you could cut Elspeth to just bring the casting cost of the deck down and just play more of the other spells that you need. But anyway, let's go and give this a run, at least as is. But yeah, that's kind of the issue there. It's just sometimes they can have the right words to fit the deck list, but they just don't really do anything. And you can produce enough blood tokens that you're probably not that worried about drawing cards, right? Basically, at that point, half your stuff just has cycling for 1 mana. Ghost, you've mentioned your deck enough times in the chat. We probably are not getting to it because there is already another deck in the paid queue and there are 3 more in the free queue, and we're probably not even going to get to all of those. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you want deck help, we can look at it and talk about it in the Discord after the fact, but it probably won't be making it into this particular video. All right. Let's keep this. Let's play this. I'm not a big, I guess I'll take this so we have extra white. Not that I think we need it though. Not a big fan of playing these. I mean, you know, a point here or there probably does matter in the mono red matchups, but I think if you end up moving to cut downs, I would not play that card. Yeah, plus if you max out the Bloodcasters and then you have Vampire's Kiss, you can get to the backside really quickly, which is kind of a nifty little thing. All right, attacking. I mean, I could have put this into play, I guess, but don't want to get everything swept away immediately. Well, that sucks for us. Well, that makes us not happy. Hmm. All right. Well, let's just see if they have it. This is one of those, if they do, they do. And this will just be over quick. All right. We at least have a 2/2 left. So it's not like the complete end of the world. But I definitely don't want that card. Actually, I don't want this card. 'Cause there's not going to be anything we could target there. All right. Well, sadly, that comes into play tap. So that's all we can do. But yeah, this is why, like, there's a lot of in between stuff here that, okay, Thousand Moon Smithy, we're already not going to beat that card. Without having more flyers and stuff in the deck to come over the top, even with the opponent at 12, I don't think we're going to beat them. Also, there's no get loss, which would be great to get rid of temporary lockdown and get all that back. Because like if we had a get loss right now and those all came back, oh, that then we'd be able to win. All right, well, we'll drain for 2 and see if we find something. Let's go ahead with this. All right, no attacks. Yeah, the problem now though is I'm picturing a bunch of things we can draw that have no impact on the game state, which is kind of sad. Well, lands being one of those things, but those are necessary. Oh my gosh, really? Come on, let's get rid of this too. See, this exactly the situations why you don't want this card. uh like we might get to save a thing here, so there's that at least. But yeah, not generally a spot where you want this. Well, when they're exiling, this doesn't do anything anyway. So sure. All right. In the turn. Yeah, there's a lot of these artifact decks around, but they're totally beatable. Like if you have even one or two things that remove an artifact, or like in this case, if we had one thing that got rid of a temporary lockdown, like the game would already be long over. Oh, that's cute. Okay. We have 2 shots at this, right? So let's try. They obviously know we're gonna do something because this is the most suspect attack in the history of ever. Then they'll counter that. Um, do we pay for that actually? Oh, you know what? They're probably gonna hit us with it, then hit us again. That sucks. We're not gonna get to resolve either of these then. That's what that means. Let me think about this. Would I rather pay for this and then force them to use the other no more lies? Yeah, I guess so. Sure. Because I assume they just have another one. No, really? That's a shocker. Why would they just not wait till I played another card then? Okay, well, that's a thing that happened. Like, there you go. Like, sometimes weird things happen, y'all. Oh gosh, that's terrible for us. Yeah, not good. Though it looks like they were thinking about attacking, so maybe they don't have another counter at all. Because I mean, if they had another, I mean, maybe it's just a make disappear. Well, no, even then they would have just played make disappear last turn, right? All right, sure, we'll go for it. Why not? Maybe their hands all okay. There you go. That's what I was expecting them to have somewhere along the way. All right. So what are our possible outs now? We don't have any actual real creature kill spells, so that's unfortunate. Wow, and they left both on top. That's usually a bad sign. All right. Oh, dang it. We were just talking about this card too. Well, here's what we're going to do. Actually, let's not, because we can do this at instant speed anyway, right? We can get in 4. This would still live. They could also just double block here, which isn't great. But yeah, let's go. Let's see what happens. I think this is our, at least our temporary best plan. Well, they didn't activate the land, so that's sucked. Or maybe they forgot. Yeah, they're trying to activate now, but they needed to do that before declaring attackers, which sucks for us, or declaring blockers, because if they would have done it right, there's a chance this play might actually work. I mean, that could be another counter in hand. Who knows? But if they would have double blocked, we would have got both creatures, which would have been awesome. But I don't think we're actually going to. Oh, are we? Wait a minute. Okay. Wait, hold up. Oh, we don't even need to, because it wouldn't kill it. So yeah, never mind. It's a 4/4. I was thinking it was still a 3/3 like the one from last turn. Okay. I mean, we're hanging on. I don't see how this goes our way, but we'll see. Another Smithy. Oh gosh. All right. Well, you get 2 bodies. Yeah, okay. Now we just play Drana because it's a flyer, and we just hope for the best, right? I mean, even then, they get 1 turn of blocking with their creature or with their land. All right. Man, the funny thing is, we're going to possibly lose this game because the opponent played incorrectly last turn. Yeah, no attacks. Oh, well, they had to get lost. It's like, that's no good. Yeah, even if we'd have kept the Vadmir here, it doesn't change the math much for this turn. Oh, wait. What? Oh, they're going to. Oh, because you have another one. Of course. Why not? So they just had 2 Smithies on top. That's gross. I mean, we could kill this now. But yeah, had we killed the Vadmir or kept the Vadmir, it actually doesn't change enough of anything. This now, that could work because now we can give something flying. It's a +1, and then we take 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 36, but we're gaining 4, so we'd be at 38. So if they top deck an artifact, which they, well, that's a map. Oh, actually, you know what? We might be able to kill them. We have to hit the map. But that if we do, then we win. No, we get another try though. Come on. Hey, we got there. With flying, for sure. All right, cool. Oh, my goodness. Blah. Yeah, this just needs more focus. Like, don't we need to streamline it down. The defensive cards need to just move out the way. Like, oh my gosh. Ugh. Let's get rid of this bot person in the chat. There we go. That's nice. Okay. Whew. All right, we're gonna look at Freeman's other deck now, and we might get to 2 more people in the free queue, and that may be all that's left, I think, before I got to go do other work. But yeah, let's go take a look and see what we got here. Do 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 do. Um. mm, 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 mm. We will bring that in over here. And what do we got? Okay. Oh, bro, I don't even think we can. I might play one game, but I may concede this one early because this is just a slow, grindy, whatever. Like, no need to look at it. I already know what it is. It's just Boros control. Um, but if the game goes too long, I'm just going to concede to my opponent. Just letting you know. The game made me hold my breath for a moment. Hey, we were just looking for a flyer that survived. You know, that's what we needed for that game. A Mirix. I'm going to keep. Why not? Lunark veteran. Well, we know what we're in for here. Yep. I know what I'm lightning striking. Though I would like to have gone first so we could Brotherhood's in, but I have to kill this or we're not going to be able to get rid of it. Not anytime soon, anyway. We would be dead before we dealt with it. Oh, well, that's nice. We'll just pass the turn. They're playing Mardu colors. Interesting. I do want to just kill that. But we can just do that next turn with the Brotherhood's end. We're not really worried about them getting in here for 1 and gaining a life. That's fine. It sucks because we might need that for another white mana down the road. But I think it's worth it. We'll just play it. Yep. Kill the things. In the turn. Hey, I got a new follower. Big Kiki, how's it going? Man, opponent's going hard in the paint on this life gain. Pass the turn. Yeah, this is kind of all these decks do. I mean, just kill some things, hope to get your big finisher thing, which in this case is Song of Totentans, kill people with rats. All right, that comes into play tap. So now we found everything we need. Following on YouTube for a while, always a good time. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Guess I'm too late to submit. Yeah, we're all full on the queue right now. All right, take our 1. And another Voice of the Bless. And, oh, just that. All right, cool. Resolve. We don't even get cards. We just get life and 2 1/1s. That might still be fine, though. Sure. I don't think we mind that. Well, never mind. Actually, I say that. We're just going to kill that. Actually, you know what? I could just Sunfall and then sit on these because their hand's almost empty. That's fine. Yeah, we'll take a point. All right. Let's Sunfall all these duders out of the way. We also need more cards that say leaves playing, not dies, because of all these exile triggers that exist these days. More Song of Totentans. Almost ready for that. Not quite. Let's attack with this 4/4. See what kind of kill spells they've got. If any. Nope, they're just taking it. Yeah, we'll just end the turn. Helix us. I'm going to do this just in case they have a way to protect that. I don't know that they do, but that would have been tough if we'd have tried to use it, then they protect it, and then it gets too big for us to deal with. Yeah, we'll use this. Go find a land. Play us a land. Kill this duder. Attack. Don't think we have anything in the yard to get back, so we're probably just going to make a bunch of Totentans rats and hope that's enough. Oh, gosh. Well, that's a problem. Yeah, about that. What do we want to do here? I guess I just make like 5 rats. This thing has lifelink. All right. No attacks. Oh, and Aurelia. So now they get 2 attackers here. But all right. Well, Lightning Strike keeps us alive. Maybe. Okay, so we do this, we gain 4 life for sure. And then we can do this and make 3 more 1/1s. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we're at 14. All right, I'll gamble on it. Oh, I forgot they deal 3 when we attack with more than 1. All right, we're dead then. Unless they just miss somehow in 4 triggers. But yeah, we're dead. Totally forgot about that part. Almost never comes up with Aurelia, but they got us. Yep. All right. Cool. They win. But yeah, this is a deck like you kind of expect what it's going to do. It's just a bunch of removal, and then you hope to survive to do your big finisher. If anything, if there was any real what I would call complaint about the build is, I don't know that you really need 3 Song of Totentans. Like 1 or 2 is probably all. Since the creatures can't block anyway, you're just using it as a finisher. So that's probably the only thing I would replace. One of those for something else. But I get it. You're doing the War Leader's Call with this. It's just a little weird since you're mostly making tokens with Burn Down the House and Totentans. Now, when you have the War Leader's Call and you stick the Totentans and you just win anyway, right? You make 6 dudes, deal 6 damage, you get in for another 12. That's usually going to end it on site. But yeah, I think the deck overall is fine, though. I mean, it kind of does what you expect it to do. It's just a Boros control deck doing control things. It's just trying to win with the tokens and the War Leader's Call instead of just some like your lands or planeswalkers or whatever. But all right, let's hop back in here. Who do we have left in the free queue? I think, like I said, I think I can get to 2 more maybe. Let's see what we got. Mr. Breakmine, are you still here? If you are, then you're next up. Otherwise, we're going to the next person. So let's see. Mr. Breakmine still here. We'll give them a few seconds to respond. Otherwise, Barry, Berry, you are on deck. So if you're here, oh, all right, Mr. Breakmine, Bertrand, Mr. Breakmine. Here we go. Let's go. All right, looks like we're still here. So let's go. Did we have a problem loading? Did it not load? No, it did load. Oh, with the card I don't have, it's uncommon. Let's go, or uncommon. Let's go ahead and craft that. Let's see what we got going on here. Aether Mage's Doots, Duelist of the Mind, Ledger Shredder, Surge, Stowaway. Flotsam is mill 3, investigate, or for 6, each opponent mills cards, then you cast a spell from each opponent's graveyard. I mean, I guess. All right, we're playing all the swords in Soul Cauldron. All right, I'm just gonna go play with this one. I don't know. This is one that I'm not sure everything's on the same page trying to do what it's trying to do, but maybe I'm completely wrong. All right. Interesting way to spell. We have an Icarus as an opponent. All right. So the Newt is when you deal combat damage to a player, target instant sorcery card in the graveyard gains flashback, and you can play it, but you need to have 3 to saddle it. Yeah, I guess we'll keep it. And we'll start with probably Duelist of the Mind. Let's go Ledger Shredder first. All right. Hey, thanks for that. I just saw that come through. What is this one? Makes 1/1/1. And then what's the backside? Oh, it's the one that's bigger for the number of artifacts. I do remember that card. All right. I guess we're attacking. Yeah, I think my problem is if we're going to be playing these types of cards, there's like that 3 mana 2/2 flyer with vigilance that you draw 2 cards, discard 2. Like there's Prof's Eidetic Memory, which works really well in here because you get to draw an extra card. Then for each card you're drawn for the turn, you add counters to a creature. Like all of those, I think are probably better for what you're trying to do. Also, like this is the thing I was concerned about. You have all these artifacts and things, but then we also have the Newt. So now we're kind of in a situation where like I'm like, I mean, I guess we attack with at least one of these. So I'm going to do this and this. So I at least trigger that, and then those things get bigger. So the sword lets us surveil 2, and then I can cast an instant sorcery with 2 or less from our graveyard. I guess I would rather have the sword here. And it's protection from blue, so that sort of matters. We'll discard this. And then I'm just going to attack with this since the ledger. Oh, I forgot. That has vigilance. I could have attacked with both. Saheeli. All right. Don't get to see that too often. What's the trigger on this? Get a treasure, then you pay 5. Oh, pay Wooburg. All right, that makes sense. All right, they got a bunch of little ones. And unfortunately, the sword doesn't really do anything here because those don't have colors. but we might as well try anyway. All right. The unfortunate part is it's not even worth it for us to actually. I probably should just attack this. It's not even worth it for us to attack with the Duelist of the Mind because they could just triple block and we don't. I mean, I guess I should have because we could have removed a creature from the graveyard. All right, what you got going here? Oh, this is what we're doing. So they're just doing all the tokens in this build. I see ya. Yeah, I think as much as I like the swords, I don't know if this is a meta game where you can justify playing a more than like two. Just because the time to like equip them and then if they're not the right color and all that other stuff, I think limits their effectiveness. All right, here we go. Yeah, probably don't need that. I'm assuming this is where the opponent gets to make a bajillion tokens. Oh, well, now I'm kind of regretting not having that land, huh? All right, well, let's mill some cards into our graveyard. Oh my gosh. Okay, then. That's not great. Well, I guess we'll do what we can do here. Consider. You will consider, which makes more colorless things. I mean, this is a weird matchup because I'm just thinking, like, does Breach even do anything for us in this fight? Because I'm thinking, like, what's the best we can do? Oh, tether it. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That's true. I could make something unblockable. That is a real thing. The problem is, even if I was unblockable, I mean, I would have killed Saheeli, but I don't have anything in the yard I can even cast with these wonderful, wonderful creatures. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and draw now, even though it's less effective for my Duelist of the Mind. That's okay. There we go. That's better. All right. They also have stuff in their yard, which is super sweet. I think, though, yeah, might as well just put the counter on here. It doesn't really matter. Oh, well, all right. I'm just going to pump up our Duelist of the Mind and then destroy all the small things. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just put full control. I can save our ledger shredder. We'll just remove this. Oh, wait, that doesn't count because it's not a creature. Damn it. Ah, well, we'll just lose a guy. That's fine. Yeah. All right, that's fine. We'll save this guy. Anything? No. Interesting. All right. What do we got? All right, fair enough. Don't the things you cast have to be 2 mana or less from the sword? Oh, from the newt. Well, yeah, like, but the newt gives everything flashback equal to its cost. Gain that flashback 0. Oh, till end of turn instead of here. Yes, fair enough. Well, this is blue anyway, so that's fine. And yet another Tezzeret. Fair enough. I also feel like if the opponent was playing a real deck with real removal at some point, we would also have been in a worse situation. Which is fine. I mean, like, you just run into the decks you run into. All right. And we go attacking. And 5 damage. 2 newt triggers. This one is the one that gets to be played for free, right? Gains flashback 0 until end of turn. Instead, if it's saddled, but it's not saddled. So we really don't have much we can play here. I can't submit 0? Oh, it doesn't matter, because if I just don't play it, I don't play it. That's fine. Surveil. Well, sure. And we'll play that. And we'll play this dude. And I might as well just play this, right? All right, end the turn. Let's see what they got. Yeah, this is a case too of we got kind of lucky with this particular sword because they happen to be playing just black, or looks like most of their stuff is blue. So that makes life a little easier here. All right, they're just going for all the artifacts. You got it. All right, so now they're going to kill the newt. Yep. There is a creature. Is there not a creature in the graveyard? There is. Oh, I guess I can get one of theirs too. I'll just hold on to this breach at this point. All right, put that on the newt to try to save it. Hopefully there's no other burn damage. All right, scry to the bottom. Draw 2 cards. Probably looking for something to finish off the newt here. That's a cool effect over Tezzeret's thing. I never really noticed that. All right, you have another one, which now you tap, and that'll be enough to kill it. All right, fair enough. Then I think we make this unblockable. What are we looking to do here? What happens when this -6? Whenever an artifact you control becomes tapped, draw a card. That's gross. We don't like that. All right. And we'll attack here and here. Is that actually going to be it? You know what? If we're going to do that, let's go ahead and put another counter over here. All right, that's fine. All right. Don't need that. I don't really feel like we need that at this point. I'm just going to decline. I don't even think having that matters that much here in the turn. I'm just ready for this to be over, to be honest. Like, this is just, it's a lot of grindy things happening. I mean, we're at 23 life, so I'm not that worried. I mean, they've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, possibly 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. Unless they have some type of burn damage or something here, I don't think they can even come close to finishing us. I mean, they might have a way to give some stuff haste or something. All right, there's bridges. Also interesting that not once did they try to get the card under here. They're just using it just to get treasure, which is kind of cool. I mean, you get some flyer that's big, and like, yeah, sure. Not really worth fighting over. I mean, unless they have something to do with the surgeon, and it doesn't matter anyway, right? Okay, let's go ahead and draw. Hey, we get to cast a breach for, I don't even know what we'd go get. All right, I'll cast it just because we're here and we're streaming. Why not? Let's do it. Don't expect to get anything awesome, but I don't know. I guess a ledger shredder, sure. Why not? Yeah, we'll get some. Whoa, a Karn Reforge is hanging out in there. That's cool. Boop, boop, boo. I mean, it's all largely irrelevant. We're just going to put a counter on the Surge Engine and attack. They're playing Food Fight too. Their deck's actually pretty sweet. It gives me some ideas to build with. I don't know if I'd have done it the same way they did, but I like what they're doing. Yeah, we'll remove this knucklehead. All right. You got any tricks? Nope, they're just saying GG's. All right, cool. We got there. Yeah, I don't. I feel like the black cards really aren't adding much to this deck. Like, don't be wrong, Gix's man's cool, but at the same time, if we'd have had like I don't know, Fading Hopes and other things, like you're gonna win a fair amount of those games as well with all the early creatures that you have. So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like even Breach, I'm not sure when we're casting Breach. We're almost hoping the opponent has something to get because we don't have anything worth breaching. Because we can only get creatures and planeswalkers. Like, I mean, I guess we can get like a Surge Engine, but on like the way the games progress on a Breach turn, Surge Engine probably isn't turning the game for us. Usually when you're breaching, it's like, oh, I can go get, I don't know, Big Chandra or even a Shieldred or whatever, like Aclazotz or whatever. Right? There's something big you can get that finishes a game, buys time, does a thing. Plus, you're getting the thing from your opponent. Like even when we breached, I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I get a Ledger Shredder. Well, see, this is the problem. If you're saying we don't cast breach normally, then why don't we just cut it? That's what I'm getting at, right? Like if it's not that effective to the point that you don't usually want it, I think we can just get rid of it. And you can make room for other stuff. Again, whether that's well, sure. Like in a perfect world, the newt survives, we do a thing, it gets that, yeah, all that happens, but like I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just saying for me, I feel like this could just be more efficient and better just by going heavier on your early options and then just do the thing. But I guess if the combo is you're trying to newt plus breach, I get it. I just don't know against most of the decks I'm thinking about, barring like Boros tokens, because you can probably do it against Boros tokens, at least somewhat. But even then, they could chump block a newt early, I guess. Yeah, I think that's my issue. If I were playing this on the ladder, I don't know how many decks this like I'm picturing you're just killing more often with Ledger Shredder, Duelist of the Mind, and Surge Engine more than all this other stuff around the newt. I think is what the way I'm envisioning it. Because I'm like, you know, against the Golgari, it's like, okay, well, they kill your newt. They're not really worried about the other stuff. Like, but you can come over the top with the flyers and still get them, right? Like, that's a thing. Because you don't have a way to really get rid of their stuff. So even a bat early is somewhat problematic, it feels like. You know, because you don't even have like, I don't know, go for the throats or whatever. But that's my assessment. That's what I would change. The deck worked in that scenario, but we also effectively played against an opponent that a bunch of their cards couldn't even target our stuff with the sword we drew. And they weren't really playing removal outside of the Yoshin, whatever, right? So we kind of had a perfect world scenario there. But yeah, I like the concept. I like trying to do stuff with the newt and whatever. But I might also consider, are there other things you could play that are also efficient? Because again, if you're playing black and you're playing cut downs or one of the black cards that can like draw you a couple of cards or whatever, and you can just do that for free with the newt, even when it's not saddled, that's almost better than just like gambling on breach, hopefully hitting something good from the opponent, right? Because we don't have anything we want to hit with breach. But if we have more small cards, then you can cast those even if you don't have, even if you just have like a sword on the newt, you can still cast stuff, right? You don't have to worry about it having like a high cost or anything. So yeah, that's the what I think, and it would make the deck better, I think, against other aggro decks and stuff like that. Because I'm thinking even like mono red feels like it would have been really tough to beat with this, right? If they would have had one early lightning strike, I don't know if we'd have been able to beat it. But if we have some early removal and then you're like, okay, cool, cleared the way, we're attacking with the newt, and now I'm recasting a thing to kill your bird or whatever, right? And then like I could see you being able to win more of those games that way. But I see most of what the deck's trying to do though, like the Soul Cauldron being able to be used with the Surge Engine to make something unblockable, and like that all makes sense. I don't have a problem with that. It's just the upper end plus the swords. I think just make this so mana intensive with a bunch of stuff you can't actually replay without your board getting to survive, right? Where you have to have newts and hopefully something that lets the newt get through one of the swords and something 3 power to be able to saddle the newt to get to do the big thing the deck wants to do. But outside of that, feels a little dubious. I don't know. I guess the best word I would have. But it's interesting, though. I'll give you that. It's definitely probably the most interesting deck we've seen today, for sure. And I like what's going on. Like I said, I would take it a little bit of a different direction, but I like the concept because we've definitely not seen anything like that on any of these streams in a minute. All right. And we can still handle Barry, I think. So, Barry, if you're still in the chat, we will bring your deck up and give that a go. And you might be the last one. If this goes quickly, we might be able to get another in. We'll see if Barry's still in chat. Otherwise, we'll move to Night Skies next up. But yeah, that's what this stream's really about anyway, though. I like seeing the crazy stuff that y'all are working on. Because Newt was one of those cards that people really wanted to be good and be playable, but hasn't really shown up anywhere yet. But I feel like at some point, especially since we have like 3-year standard, you're going to reach a point where there's going to be enough good 1 and 2 mana cards that just like draw a card, bounce a thing, whatever. And then that's going to probably be the time this is good enough. But yeah, it's a cool card. All right. So Barry says they are here. So let's see what we got. Oh man, this is already concerning because there is only one Spirited Companion, which is a common. So I don't know what we're doing here. So we got Spirited Companion, Shieldrids, Invasion of Ixalan for 1. Oh boy, we got Spelunkings and Topiary Stompers. Whoa, what? Why? What's happening? I feel like the more I read, the farther the wheels fell off. I don't. Hold on. My brain's having to recalibrate. I don't. Okay. Oh boy, I have questions. I have a lot of questions. I don't know where to start with the questions. Why? Okay, so we're playing Vivian, which is cool. We never get to see Vivian in action. I don't know what we're trying to do. Like, I'm genuinely lost. Yeah, Bakiki, that's a good call in that last deck. Like, security bypass with the Newt is kind of interesting, right? Because you attack with just the Newt by itself, and they can't block it. That's kind of a cool idea. All right. So obviously, okay, are we doing something? Nope. I was thinking like Eternal Wander is the only thing that like blinks a card because I'm realizing all of these, well, except for Shieldred. Well, no, that's the big Shieldred. So even that has enter the battlefield abilities, right? But like, why is Galta? How are we getting Galta into play? Am I missing something? Like, I don't. Oh man. All right. I'm just gonna go play this. I'm gonna quit trying to pass judgment and I'm just gonna go play it. I don't. Oh man, I have questions. Please, you were trying to scale into Vivian. Then this is not the way to do it. I would have played ramp creatures at like 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana, or whatever. So you could eventually hit those other cards. Or get other cards into play, then you play Vivian, and then Vivian can get rid of your 5 and go get your 6, or whatever the case is. Galta doesn't really work because by the time you do all the things to get the Vivian and get the creatures, you don't have anything in hand for Galta, I would imagine, most of the time. Like, you want Galta when you can trick Galta into play and then drop 2 or 3 big monsters. But I can't imagine that's going to be a thing. By the way, don't be one of those knuckleheads bringing these types of decks into the play queue. Like, people are generally looking to play fun stuff over here. Hey, I'm gonna get to use this on that. That's not exciting. I guess it doesn't really matter. I might as well just play this. Do 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 do. Yep, only for standard decks. I don't even know if I need to have the cards to build some of the other decks. All right, you have Phoenix Chicks. I mean, I could just die to those next turn. Actually, yeah. Sadly, I have to just make them lose one of these. It's not much, but this is the concern I have though with this type of deck. Hey, at least we found this. This could do something. Each of these gets us 2 life. This doesn't get to block anything. So sadly, I think I'm just gonna do well. This is more mana efficient, but we're still not blocking it. This at least prevents 1 point of damage. So sure, why not? Of course, because I said that, now they'll draw like Monastery Swift Spear or something. Nope. Show off and show off into 3 spells. And then we die a horrible death. Yeah. All right. We're all good. We don't even need to finish. Even without that, we weren't going to win this game. Yeah, this deck needs to, you need to be ramping up early. Because right now, if everything works perfectly, you're still not in a winning position by the time you get the thing you're trying to get, if that makes sense, right? Like you can ultimately do the thing you're trying to do, and it still may not be good enough, it feels like. So you need stuff to do early that allows you to do at least part of the big things, even if you don't get the cards you want. Yeah, because like Edgar's fine, but like for what we're trying to do we even need white cards in the deck? Yeah, see, this is exactly the type of problem, right? Like we have to keep it because this isn't bad enough to throw back. But it's like we have to get to extra mana here. Who are you people that like who hurt y'all, man? Just wanting to run in here with these like mono red decks. All right. I'm just gonna let the opponent have it. Like we're not with this draw, we're not gonna beat that. Like I can tell you right now, what even if they have a bad mono red draw, we're not beating that. Our hand was a bunch of 4, 5, 6, and 7 mana things where we're not even gonna have a chance. But yeah, I do kind of like Vivian. I haven't played it much. Maybe I should play Vivian in a deck soon because it's going to rotate in August. Give her one last run. And there are good creatures right now, especially since you got stuff like the big Vaultborn Tyrant and things like that. All right. What do we got? Ugh. Yeah, Spelunking, I don't think really does. I mean, it draws a card, but I probably wouldn't play this either. Like Spelunking to me should just be like Jewel Thief or something, right? It's a 3/3 for 3. It gets you a body so you can buy time, and it gives you the mana to play the next big thing. You know, I'm gonna mulligan since we're on the draw, and sadly, I got to get rid of that. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this. All right, Sharp-Eyed Rookie. We can kill that before it at least takes off, so that's good. And then we can play this. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. And let's just get a permanent. So that could be anything. Though right now it probably needs to be a land so that we could eventually just Path Apparel. Fortunately, okay, this is good and bad that the opponent bricked, because this also means that when they get a 5th land or a 6th land, something absurd's about to happen to us. Oh boy. I think I just take the Restless Cottage and just play that this turn. I was like hoping they don't have some instant speed thing. Oh, you know what? They might actually have Smuggler Surprise. That might be what they're setting up for. Okay. What are we looking to do here then? Probably just pass and then play triplets, I guess. We're only gonna get sit here so long before they get to do the dumb thing they want to do. Okay, there's another Topiary Stomper, so they've got at least another land coming. All right. We'll go here. All right. How bad is it going to be for us? For all I know, they might like land Smuggler Surprise double 8/8s or something. Like I could have seen that being real. All right, so they can still only block with Vorinclex here. Man, you know what I needed? I needed one of these so I could kill one of our Gruff triplets. Oh no, because it's equal to the power. Then we actually don't want to do that. 14. So they block 4. They take 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I guess we do this. Sure. Yep, you got it. Okay, well, we won one, but our opponent also really didn't play any magic cards. I mean, in whatever that was, 8 turns, they effectively just cast like 3 spells, 4 spells. So yeah, obviously just had cards bigger than they could cast in their hand. But yeah, coming back to the deck, I think white really isn't bringing enough to the table to begin with here. Like, Edgar doesn't even really do anything. It's just a 4/4 unless it dies, right? And we don't, it's not like we have a way to sacrifice it to make it turn or whatever. So even for 4 mana, there's better stuff. Like if we just look by cost, right? And we just look in green and black creatures, there's still just better things at 4 mana we could play. We can have our own Archfiend, right? These are fine, right? Nothing wrong with that card at all. If you want to get really crafty, you can go with Bloodletter Aclazot. Don't know if we need to, but it's an option. If you actually, Masker Girl's still not bad either. That's another reasonable option if you want to go there. I mean, technically, Obliterator's fine if you wanted to go heavier on the land, so you have all black and green lands to make it easier to cast that. Like that's an option. Of course, Shieldred, much better option than Edgar. Bristlebud Farmer, also not bad, because if your plan is just get it into play and then you're just going to get rid of it at some point later, you at least get 2 food for your trouble, or possibly dig and get another card. It's a 5/5 body, right? That's acceptable. So like, yeah, there's just better options, I think, that could do more for you in green and black than even worrying about Edgar, really. There's quite a few options, honestly. And I don't even know if there's any green black options that matter, but there's probably something. But yeah, that's an option. Genji is mostly fine. I don't love it, but it's fine here with what the deck's trying to do. Vein Ripper, obviously. I would go down to 3 Vivian. I think trying to play 4 is a bit tough. Dusk Mangler, I just don't even like this card. Like, it's cool if you already have them almost dead and then they have to lose the 4 life. But generally speaking, like, it's just a big dumb knucklehead for 7 mana. When, like, for 7, I mean, 1, I don't know how many 7 mana things we really need. So that's the first thing. I would rather just have another Vaultborn Tyrant than have Dust Mangler. Right? That's just going to get you out of more trouble. Like, I would cut, like I said, I'd cut all the white. Like, that's a whole thing. And we only had 24 lands. Wow, we drew a lot of land for only having 24. Well, we had 25. I just cut one. But I would want more specific removal, targeted removal, other than Shieldred. Even if that means playing something like, I don't know, Bitter Triumph. I would probably do that. Yeah, Spirited Companion again. We just cut the white. I don't mind Circuit Mender, but we don't have that many ways to sacrifice things. Like, really, until we get to Vivian, we don't really have much. So what I would say is go with Bramble, whatever that dude is. Oh, I have to change my things here. Reset that. Bramble Familiar. Because Bramble Familiar can also just let you cast something from those top 7 cards, right? So you, even if you don't get Vivian, you can still get to play these things for the 7 mana. Spelunking, I don't think cuts it. I would play Jewel Thief. Again, just so you have a body to do combat with, buy yourself some time. Probably another Dread Knight. Man, I wouldn't mind at least one thing that gains some life somewhere. I mean, really, as much as you hate it, I mean, Shieldred probably has to make the cut, honestly. I get it, but, you know, some number. Again, Invasion of Ixalan is mostly fine. I just don't know if it does enough for us. I'd be going some combination of Bitter Triumph or Go for the Throat. You know, I don't know. You can pick and choose. So now we have more mana. We can ramp up and actually cast some things. Triplets is fine if we can get to it. I guess we don't have that many things at 6, right? We just have 2. So we don't want to cut those. We have a couple of things at 5. Junji, Titan. Virtue does gain life as well. This is probably closer. Love you, bruh. I have some decks, but I'll hit you up next time. Yeah, feel free to hop in the Discord. You can talk about decks on any given time, even when we're not live. But I do like this, right? Your upper end are basically life gainers, right? You've got Shieldred, Junji, which technically can gain life if you choose that option. Oh, well, no, they lose life or you lose life. You don't gain life from that. War Chief does gain life. Bane Ripper can gain life. Virtues, definitely, which technically gains life for 2 mana. Then you have Titans, then gain life, Vaultborn Tyrants. So I don't mind that. I think the issue is, again, we're also light on land. Like, we have to cut more. This has to be at least a 26 land deck, probably even 27. Even with us having Bramble Familiars and Jewel Thieves. Like, I think you just have to. If you want to be able to justify playing those upper end cards. Maybe the option is cut like a Dread Knight. Maybe. And go with, oh man, I don't know. Maybe this is one of those cases. This is why y'all see 61 on my list a lot, because I just stare and go like, you know what? I'm just playing more stuff just because. Let's see. So if we go nope. How much I guess? I get us to 26. All right, 26. Something like this maybe could be closer. But again, you know, it's like Would we be better off playing like Glissas and whatever? Like, who knows? Maybe. But yeah, this is at least an option. And Jewel Thief, you still wouldn't be able to Path of Peril effectively. I guess you'd still want some lands that could get you white, just in case. So wouldn't be too upsetting to leave in 4 or 5 lands here, just so you can still Path of Peril in case of emergency. I think that's okay. But yeah, generally, this is probably closer to something I would go with. Like, give you more options at playing those big cards in different scenarios and setting up more ways that you could buy time to get there. I think that's the other issue, right? Because, like I said, against Mono Red, I already knew looking at our hand, unless their hand was complete garbage, we weren't even going to have a chance, right? We didn't have any blockers. We had minimal removal. Like, there was just nothing we were going to be able to do. At least here, now you have targeted removal. You have some early creatures. Maybe they spend some burn damage on those or whatever. You know, Jewel Thief and Topiary Stompers can help you set up to get your next cards. Now you've got Shieldred, so it's a little bit of a cheaper thing you can play. It's like, yeah, options at least. But yeah, that's probably where I would go. And then I was supposed to be done a while ago, but I'm going to go ahead and hit up Night Sky's list here. Just because. Plus, you've been very helpful and active in the Discord, so I'm going to reward you here just because I can. And this will be the last one for the day. Let's see what we got. A cool cheats. All right, so we've got a cool the dragon dude trying to get some sneaky things into play. All right, so we got Get Lost, some reinforcements, which makes tokens, so we have stuff to sacrifice to a cool. All right. Lively Dirge. Don't see much of this card. Search your library, then shuffle. Oh, you put it in your graveyard, then shuffle. Then you return 2 cards, total mana value 4 or less. All right, we'll see how this works out in here. Servant Singer. This is so you can go tutor a card. Probably go get a cool, I imagine. Magda. Ooh, Magda. How many things do we have that target? We have a few. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Adeline, obviously, Wedding Announcement, Adam Bacall. These all track. Dracosaur, Terror, Triplets, Moonshaker. So we have some big things we can try to trick into play once we get a cool. All right. Yeah, the only thing I'm a little dubious about, Lively Dirge, because I don't know how that's going to work out in here yet, and Magda, because I don't feel like we have a ton of things. However, Magda could also be just to make a treasure or two, and then even if we're not making dragons, I suppose. So we'll see. But let's go. Though, if we get a big Moonshaker early, that could be kind of exciting. I could be into it. But let's see what we get. And there's at least enough removal in this early that you could buy time to get to your tricky cards, which I like. Also, want to say thank you to everybody who's watching on all the different platforms that we're streaming to. Also, off stream, if you ever want help, I have a membership level on YouTube that's private that you get to go straight to a forum that takes you just to me, and I can help you out with stuff there. If you ever want to get private help, we have a Discord that's open to the public. You can come in and get help in there. This we have to mulligan because we can't cast anything in our hand. Well, that's not true. Technically, we can cast Magda. Ooh, Moonshaker, you got to go back in, I think. Do you and Malone ever run into each other? I may have played Malone like outside of like the streamer early access events, maybe once. I mean, we've run into each other in person. We've had dinner together. He's actually a really nice dude. Like, genuinely. Like, he's what you hope he would be if you met him in person. All right. Let's see what the opponent's doing here. Lurker bat. Every time I see that, I'm like, something silly. That or the other bat. Oh, that's actually a little bit of a problem here. Well, how do I feel about this? Damn. I guess I'm discarding Get Lost? Because, like, I don't know what the opponent's. Sorry, opponent. This is the decision. This is actually a hard decision because I'm debating if I want to get rid of that, but then I give them the tokens, and then I don't like that either. With this having lifelink. Ugh. All right, it resolves. I'm probably just. Why am I gonna do this? All right, I'm gonna give them. Oh wait, what? I thought I clicked. Oh no, I thought I clicked the other card. Well, damn it. I could have sworn I clicked this go for the throat like 3 times. Oh well, stuff happens. But I'm pretty certain I'd clicked that go for the throat like 3 times. Man, because my plan was gonna be discard the go for the throat, go ahead and kill that, let them pump this flyer to whatever. Don't really care. Well, we weren't gonna get to do what we wanted to do anyway, because the plan would have been to play the Animpa call here, which I would have just taken. So that plan goes away regardless. Okay. You got it. Oh yeah, we're definitely not beating their draw. They just outdrew us on this one. Yeah, we can't even effectively block without giving them back. Whoa, they put that in their graveyard. They must have one in their hand. Oh, they can't cast it. That's the problem. Oh, and then we drew the card we absolutely did not need to draw here. All right. Case. Whoa, that's not what I expected them to draw. Okay, well, that's a thought. Yeah, we can't really even get caught up here at this point. Like, do I just block and give them the treasure so they have double black? Like, can we even afford to do that? I mean, I guess we have to, sadly. Like, because I'm just having 4+ damage turn after turn after turn. We're just not going to be able to keep up with that. Oh, no. Is there like a cut down or something for Magda? No. Okay. Oh, no. That's not what we wanted to see. That sucks. Can't even really afford to attack there because I want to be able to double block this 2/2 and not. I mean, I guess I could have done that with Magda, but I kind of want to be able to just cast whatever we draw and hopefully it does something. No, the opponent their early draw was very good. They've kind of stalled out here, but their first 3 turns were pretty solid. Like, can't take that away from them. A little bit random, but hey, you're doing a life game theme anyway, it seems like. There's the gig. So they did have another one. So they were really needing that other black mana. Yeah. I mean, we got a block, sadly. What we need right now, truthfully, is we need a removal card for this and a removal card for that. And then we can figure out what the rest is going to look like from here. But I think we're just now too far behind. Even if we get what we want, I don't think it's good enough. Yeah, and now we have to block Tiny Bones. I mean, I guess, yeah, because we can't even give them Animpakal at this point. Yeah, all right. GG's. We're not coming back. Yeah, opponent's draw was on top of the opponent drawing good. We also drew pretty badly. So, yeah, we had no real chance there. Mm-mm-mm-mm. What do we do with this? I guess we keep it, right? Oh, no. Oh, no. We need removal cards. Oh, all right. We're just passing. Oh, they don't have anything instant, so they must have just creature kill spells. Interesting. Did somebody come into the play queue with just all creature removal? Let's find out. Ooh, we did not find a land. That's tough. All right. Actually, all right. So for 5 mana, effectively, we could put stuff in the graveyard, then return stuff to our hand. But is it possible that for like the same? Wow, they're attacking here. Okay. Like, would Beseech the Mirror be better, where we could just like sack a token? I'm just gonna attack and draw a card here. Because like we could beseech, get rid of a thing, and then get a cool into play. Right? Because beseech is it token or just an artifact for the bargain? Because if it's just a token, then that's probably the better play. What is this deck? This is just a weirdly aggressive. They just had a weird start, I guess. Okay. Well, that tracks. They're gonna sack it. Oh, okay. Like things are going down. Uh I mean, Magda gets us a treasure, so that's a thing. Man, now that we know rage and stuff exists, I guess I'm just not going to attack. Um, Also, this is not a good card to have in here. Like, I get that it makes other bodies and stuff, but since you're really a Mardu deck, I would just find something else that costs 5, 6, or 7 or something. Because like this is literally only good if we have a cool, right? Any other time, I'm assuming it's kind of bad. Okay. So what's the plan here? We're at 5, they're at 15. They've got this thing, they've got some number of cards they can't do anything with. I'm assuming they need more black mana. We could target a thing, get a treasure. That gives us 4, 5, 6. So we're still 2 away from the Moonshaker Cavalry. I don't want to do this because that eats up our mana. And I would probably rather just do this. I was thinking about targeting something, but we can wait. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we kind of have protection with the go for the throat if anything gets crazy. Hey, Mark Laporte, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Much appreciated. All right, now our duders are bigger, and we have a 6th mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but I can't Lively Dirge just into play. This costs 6. Lively Dirge says mana value 4 or less, right? Yeah. Sadly, I can't kill that with this. Yeah, we're dead, aren't we? And then shoot us. Yep, they're going to fling that one. All right. All right, they got us. Also, to be fair, I didn't know what they were playing. I was trying to play around stuff that didn't exist. But yeah, I don't think we got to have other things we could play. Oh, you are welcome for the content, friend. All right, we got to play this tapped, obviously, turn 1. But yeah, I get what we're trying to do, but I think there's some other choices we can make on a few cards. Invasion. All right. So a different type of red deck here. We'll see what they discard. Just some lands. Yep. Oh crap. I should have played the well, that's fine, I guess. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack. Yeah. Should have played the courtyard last turn. That's this is what we're doing? Oh, we're never gonna get to do anything with a cool, are we? That's unfortunate. All right. Well, I'm just gonna play to have more cards here. Because this will not survive their sweeper, I'm sure. All right, you might help. The way we could get away with this would be it's not enough damage though. I was just thinking like I could a cool sack the servant, but now the servant's just going to die. So we now go, oh, we got another servant. That was interesting. Not what I thought was going to happen there. We assume the board's getting swept, right? And this has to deal damage to do its thing. So what if we attack here and here? And then I think we just play this. Man, in a way, I feel like I almost we found the Moonshaker Cavalry. Like I almost feel like I want Rakdos in this deck. Since Rakdos, because I think we can sack creatures to keep it alive or whatever. Oh, I will be one. Okay. So can we just win here? Since they didn't sweep the board? I thought that's what was coming. Oh, wow. Another Moonshaker. So we have to sack 3 things, but then we only have 2 attackers. That would be a total of 5, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, it'd be exactly 15? Can control flying for the number of creatures you control. Yeah, it would be exactly enough. Could it be 11 plus 4? Oh, no, but we're also getting the plus from that. So we have way more than enough. We don't get haste off of that? Oh, bruh. Okay. Well, never mind. I thought we at least got haste off. Like, we need to play dudes that give hasty stuff in here. Yeah, that's terrible for us. Yeah, we're dead anyway. Yeah, we're dead next turn regardless. We can't beat them with this draw. That's what this deck is missing. It's missing stuff that has haste. That's what it is. Yeah, we weren't going to beat that deck anyway. We had no draw that beats them, unfortunately, because we weren't going to get to hold a cool to be able to get that off. So yeah, I would say if I had suggestions, I would definitely cut stuff like the Gruff triplets. It's not really doing anything. I would probably cut Terror of the Peaks because it's also really not doing anything. I do like the card, but unless we really are just, we already have an Anipakal going crazy, but even then we're probably already winning if that's the case. So I probably wouldn't worry about it. I like the idea of having a tutor, but the only thing we're really getting back with this is probably a cool. Occasionally, I guess that's not true. Sometimes we might get Magda or Anipakal or whatever. So that's possible. Yeah, and anything that has, you got to have something, I think, to give stuff trample, because even there, we didn't have the ideal situation, but we had close, right? So like we had a couple of the creatures, they dealt with a couple of them, we got more of them, we got a cool, but then like you have a cool, but then what? Right? Like we played our thing, but then we can't do it. So we have to have a cool, then survive a whole turn. Then we could get in for whatever that would have been, like 65 damage or whatever. But without that, I'm trying to think what else you would even want to play that you would want to get into. Like, what's the craziest thing? Let's look at stuff that costs 6 and 7 plus that are creatures. No green, because we don't really need green. What are the dumbest things we could play, maybe? Well, Sanctuary Warden's actually not bad, but that doesn't do much to try to finish the game. Maybe that's part of the problem. There's not a lot of it. Actually, you know what? This guy ain't bad. If you were trying to keep Terror of the Peak shenanigans. I mean, you sack a token, turn it into a demon with the Terror of the Peaks out. That's kind of funny. I mean, Vein Ripper's possible. A big Flesh Gorger's not terrible. Is this guy worth it for free? Search for a card, put it face down, and you can play it. I mean, it's a 7/6, and you can convoke it. Don't love it, but it's probably like the only spot where this is probably even playable. Bringer of Last Gift. Battlefield, if you cast it, we're probably not trying to cast it, so that's not going to really work. Incinerator of the Guilty. When it deals combat damage, you can deal damage to each creature in Planeswalker that player controls. Probably not great. Also doesn't have trample. You know, though, Carnosaur actually does work in here. Yes, but Calamity also can't copy a Cool or Anapakal or Adeline or Magda. So you basically only have 2, technically 3, but you're probably not going to have this out, like real creatures that you can copy with it. So it's probably not what you're looking for. Carnosaur does work here still because there are turns where you could like a Cool, then Carnosaur to try to get something bigger and then see if maybe you hit something else. Like that's possible. But if nothing else, this is just another removal thing that also technically still triggers Magda. So that's possible. And it's another way you might get a Cool for free. So I'd probably play that over the triplets. Of course, there's a Tali. Getting a Tali for free is actually pretty sweet too. Yeah. I'm wondering, are there any black cards that just make tokens? Because that would probably be the other thing. Like, is the option that, well, I mean, white brings at least Get Lost and Adeline and stuff to the table, so you can't really do without that. Yeah, I don't know. Feels like there's some wiggle room here, though. There's some other numbers we could mess around with. I feel like Lively Dirge is fine. I'd probably cut down to just 1 or 2 of them, though. I mean, it's cool if you get to search, but it is a sorcery speed thing, which is fine. But conceptually, I like what's going on. I just don't know how often it does what it does. Because even having to play a card like Servant of the Stinger is pretty rough because the card itself isn't very good. I mean, it does have Death Touch, so that's nice. But even if we go tutor, it's like, okay, if we get a Cool, then what? Right? We're not really doing anything still. So I'm wondering if there's some other 2-mana thing you could play in that spot. I don't know what it would be yet, but the bones are here. I feel like the structure of a thing is staring us in the face. It's just, is there a world where we can get the right cards to be able to do a big, dumb, silly thing, right? And maybe the answer is just go hard on being a Mardu token deck with 4 a Cool, 4 Moonshaker, which sounds crazy, but maybe that's the way to go about it. Of just saying, all right, we're not going to do all this silliness with like Lively Dirge and Stinger or whatever. We're just going to play cards that are good, that care about tokens, and then we just have a big finisher option. Right? Like maybe that's the way to go about it. I think that would be the thing, because now that I'm thinking about it, we scrap Magda too. Like, Magda's okay, but it's not really pulling her weight. Occasionally it'll be nice. Actually, I'd say it's not totally true. We could probably build enough targeted things that there's probably a way to make that work. Maybe even some lightning helix possibly could be a thing. But yeah, I would go back, look at things that make tokens, like max out the reinforcement, cut the lively dirge, cut the stingers. Maybe, like I said, possibly lightning helix. I don't know. More things that make tokens of some variety. 3 or 4 are cools. We're not going to bother with bone, like with the dragons, whatever. Something in this space, and just saying, all right, we're just going to make a really good token deck. Maybe we don't even need Carnosaur at that point. Maybe we don't. Actually, how many creatures that leave? 19. So if we added like 3 or 4 creatures, you'd be at 22 or 23. Could play a couple of, well, could play another wedding announcement. Could play War Leaders Helix. Like, there's other things we could do. Uberbrass Forge, maybe. But the difference is we want the tokens on the battlefield. We don't necessarily want them to go away. But yeah, some other things that make tokens, play that alongside the Akul, and then maybe you have more shots at the Moonshaker combo-y situation. And then this way you're playing just a good aggro Mardu tokens deck that happens to also be able to kill people with Moonshaker or an Akul coming over the top or whatever. And I think maybe that's the way to go about it. Instead of trying to making the whole focus about Akul, saying, okay, because I sort of, maybe that's a situation, right? If we didn't get the right cards, then it didn't really matter that we even drew Akul, right? The thing just didn't work. But if it works as a token deck first and Akul and stuff second, I think that's fine. And they all still kind of work together. So I would consider that and go that route. That's probably a little bit better. Oh my goodness. I will this audio pop up. Okay, there we go. But all right. I think that is going to do it. We covered a lot of decks, honestly. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different decks for people and played games with all of them and just had a good chat. So I love that for us. Also, other notes, again, if y'all want to get deck help any given time, if you want stuff done privately so people aren't judging your decks or whatever, if you're our level 3 member on YouTube, we do have a form that you just send that. It goes straight to my email, and you can just get help directly from there. If you want to join the Discord, we have different channels for all the different formats, and everybody's always helping each other in there. Everybody's pretty active. I think we have like 650 people in the Discord now, so lots of people rolling through if you want to check that out. And then if you want to support your boy, I have merchandise. I have some really fun stuff linked on YouTube, on our fourth wall page, all kinds of things if you just want to get something for yourself and help me out. But yeah, also check out Moxfield if you need a place to save your decks or whatever. That's what I use. They support the channel. And I can get sweet glasses like you can from Paying Glasses as well. So you should check them out. But yeah, man, this was fun. I think I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to alternate videos where I'm going to do one where I'm featuring your decks and then one where we're just going to run through deck doctoring stuff. Just boom, 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 boom. You know, and I think that's how we're going to do them. Occasionally, I might have just my own gameplay streams in there, but I think for the community streams, I think that's what we're going to do. So the next one will be just a deck doctor, kind of take everybody in as fast as we can, try to get over all the decks. Usually when we do those, we'll get through a lot. Sometimes we get through like 20 plus decks with people. So we go through a lot. And that's more of a learning one as we have time to break more decks down and make more suggestions because we're not spending the time playing the games, obviously. But yeah, this was a good stream. I don't even know how long we've been going. I just know we've been going 3 hours. So there you go. That kind of went by and I didn't even notice. But yeah, as always, whenever you're watching, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Because I know some of y'all were from Iceland and from Germany and from South America. We had people from all over on these streams today. So thank you for hanging out. I genuinely appreciate every one of y'all. Also, all the new members that came through. The new followers, thank you for that. The super chat, some of y'all were way too generous. I really appreciate that. I don't want that to go forgotten either. But man, so Andrew, Michael, Fryman as well, twice actually. So give you credit 2 times. Biddy, Biddy, you also became a new member, so I thank you for that as well. And Mark Laporte for a $5 in there as well. So thank you. All of that was a lot, but I got to go work on my content, so y'all have more stuff to watch. So I will catch y'all later.